Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today we're going to be entering a Nanao point battle. We're going to get clapped by a bunch of Japanese players, and we're going to do it playing the noodles because as much as I do love the noodles, I think one, we've got new content coming out, so we're going to want to be building newer decks rather than just keep playing noodles forever and ever and ever. As well as the fact, I think a lot of the new stuff that's coming out is going to naturally kind of counter noodles. So either we're going to have to adapt noodles to the new meta, which I think is going to get a little bit awkward because it means that if people are still playing the old stuff, we want to be playing our current build. And if people are playing the new stuff, we want to be playing a more defensive heavy noodle deck, which will then lose to the old stuff. So either we play to beat the new stuff and lose to the old stuff, or we play to beat the old stuff and lose to the new stuff. It's a little bit awkward, right? But we're going to play with them because, again, we're probably not going to be playing noodles for a while after this, right? We get maybe another point battle in us after this, and then we'll have, like, new product out, and we'll probably be jamming some of the new stuff. So who we got in chat? We have Pro Manicist. Welcome on in. We have Philip. Hello. We have Dragson. We have ED or Edchov. Welcome on in. We have Grand Harrier. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So what do we got going on in the chat? With the Rush Grind. First here before Dragson. I mean, you two will always be competing for that forever. I think we know who's really in the lead here, but you know, we're just gonna play it low key. Try him right now. Philip's having difficulty logging in, and then gonna win his lay points battle with Noodles. The last points battle. I think point battles are really not... I'm not the biggest fan of point battles, right? Just in general. I think point battles are... I think they have a place, and I don't want to, like, discredit point battles. I'm not a fan. I always will much rather play... My absolute preferred format of anything is always Swiss into Top Cut. My secondary favorite format is double elimination, because I think with double elimination, you don't just lose once and you're out. You at least have to lose twice. And then after that, it becomes, you know, like single elimination and then like the kind of point battle scramble. And I don't like inherently hate point battles. It's just that point battles, I feel like they push you into playing a certain way and playing certain decks. And I don't like that. I like the idea that I can play whatever deck I want and it will be completely viable and optimal no matter what, right? So in point battles, obviously, you know, there's a time limit enforced, and you know, you could also queue into the same person over and over again, or you can get stuck playing against people that are going to be like slow playing. And now this is a problem for my deck as well, because I am a slow player, right? I'm going to slow play a ton. So people that queue into me are probably going to be like, why have I queued into someone that's taking so long? And I'm just sat here like, I'm just going to stall out the game and burn you slowly, because that's how I win my games with this deck. And that's just going to happen. You need a critical mass of players to work well. They're also exploitable. Yeah, exactly. I have been in a couple of point battles. I guess we'll head over to the Duel Links now. I've been in a couple of point battles where there have been a disparity between like beginners that are just kind of learning the game and they just want to play in a community event and they just want to have a bit of fun, and then very hyper-competitive players. And what happens is a lot of the time you can get locked in against either someone that's very, very good and then have like a struggle, or you can get locked in against a newer player and basically farm them for points. And that's nobody's fault, right? It's not the player who's doing well's fault. It's not the player who's a new player's fault. It's not the tournament organizer's fault. It's nobody's fault. That's just something that happens in duel rooms, right? It's awkward, and there isn't really a good fix to that. It's just accept it for what it is, either take it seriously or don't, and either play it or don't, right? That's all there is. So I don't put too much stock in point battles, and it's the same to a much less degree. I'm not a big fan of GRF or KC Cup either, because it's has a lot of the same problems and also a lot of its own problems. Like, expecting someone to play for 72 hours is so silly. But again, I don't think there is a way to fix that outside of run a massive Swiss tournament, which requires so much effort. It requires just so much time investment and just It just requires a lot from, like, TOs or referees or whatever in order to make something like that work. There's always going to be problems. There's going to be bugs. If there's a bug on, like, the GRF, it's like, oh, just go next. You've got another, like, 70 hours to go. Just whatever, right? The meta is slowing down. I mean, playing more slowly and not going for OTK seems to be working out better now. There's better back row, which can lead to some big punishers. Lol, when we played 14 matches, 11 them in a row. Exactly. That's a good example. Well, this hand is pretty one-dimensional, isn't it? We will simply set our whole hand and pass over. We're probably expecting Harpies here. Let's see what our opponent's got for us. Okay, very defensive. Wait a minute. Is this Noodles? If he does go to battle, I think we do just Widespread Ruin, because getting rid of this is so important. Like, in this matchup, we really, really, really just need to get rid of the extra spices as quickly as possible. Alright, well, we will just flip this over now. Bonk. Takes the 400. But we are behind on the old aggro game, which is not ideal. He's got one back row. We have drawn an extra spice. That is very, very good for us. We have to tribute this off to get the effect if we want that. So I think we probably just play this pretty chill. Do we sack off the Dosodon and have that in defense after? I think probably. I mean, we do have a couple of different options here. I don't think we're going to get much out of Seahorse Carrier. I could use this effect now just to get an extra body, but then, like, what? Summon the Dosodon, tribute both? But then I couldn't even do that anyway. I don't think we bother. I think we'll probably just do this. Tribute 1, Tribute 2. Summon out. Activate the effect. Burn. That's, it's not a bad back row, but it's a little bit awkward. We don't have any way to make it live right now, and we would have rather had a monster. Now we go reboot. Add a card to our hand. We will take the stock. Then we'll just go ahead and set. I think we do set the Call of the Earthbound. It's more like to come up. And then we're going to go for the big damage. I'd rather get the extra, like, a huge chunk of damage in. Okay, we're not going to get that in anyway, so it didn't matter. Then we'll just pass. So we have ways to protect extra spice right now. We have 2 of them, so it's pretty good right now. Did you cog yet? No, we haven't bothered. We're kind of just waiting for the new stuff to come out at this point. Dragon best deck? I mean, dragons are up there. I don't... It's a hard one. I think... The best dragon build right now is probably aggro, but I could see it being... Oh, so don't just draw a second extra spice, bro. You can't just see 2 extra spice in top 10. If our attack had connected and gotten the extra... What would it have been? 22 in? We'd be in such a strong position. Okay, this could get awkward. Because if he gets 3 monsters that are big enough to hit over, I can only protect with 2. It'll probably be fine. We will redirect that attack over to here. There you go, you can hit that one. Oh, you want to attack that? No, no, no. We're going to redirect that attack. You can attack this instead. Alright, now... this is not bad, but this could be better. That's how we're leaning here. This is a little bit awkward. Right, we summon. Then we summon. We're tributing both either way. The question is, what are we tributing for? I kind of want to go Spice here, because I want to clear both the monsters. But I don't need Spice necessarily to clear both the monsters. I think we're going to go extra Spice. Tribute, Tribute. Summon out the extra. We'll then activate our skill. We're going to target extra. Add a card to hand. It's got to be our stock. We still have 6 more targets in the deck, so there's a good chance this goes off. So we'll go ahead and activate this one. Ah, that is like the worst draw. Okay, we're going to flip over our reincarnation. We're just going to discard one of these, and we are just going to take back the boy again, I think. Because we already can clear most of this board. And I really want to draw in some back row, or just another monster would be nice. Like another normal summon. Oh, that is a weird draw. Okay, can we finagle lethal out of this? Maybe. No, because the extra monster isn't going to have the boost. What are we going to have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd only have 4 in there, so it's only an extra 800 damage. So right now we'd have 11 plus 8. So that's 19. And then we could get an extra 8, which would be 27. So that should be lethal. So I think we just... I don't even think we need to use this, right? We just do straight into this. I'm like soft doing maths. We're just gonna YOLO and see what happens. Then this swings into here. And that's lethal. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. I was talking about the new box. I mean, I don't know if the new box is going to suddenly make dragons like crazy, crazy strong. I think they'll be decent. I think Metageus is going to be a bit of a weird one. We'll have to see what happens. Hey, Tomato, what's good? Hey, Max. We're doing pretty good. Playing in a point battle, as you probably noticed. We're quite hyped for all of the rush stuff that's coming out. I'm still, like, reeling off of the disappointment from... Because it wasn't even a bad box, the latest speed box. Like, it was not a bad box. I don't want to, like, sit here and, like, just say, oh, it was so bad. It's just, I got so excited because it was like, oh, finally, it's an Arc V box. Which means Fluffles. I'm so excited for that. And then I was also like, I really love Ancient Gear. Dennis is coming out. Ancient Gear should be something we're getting. And then no. I was just disappointed. Noodles. Noodles are good. Oh, yeah. Are we going to check out the box later? Yes, yes, we will. 100% we are. Excited for the new campaign that's coming out 24th for speed. Finally, Vrain stuff. See, I've never been super invested into Vrains. This is not a good hand. The issue is, we basically just have to throw our trap card away, which feels really bad. And this is a really bad matchup for us anyway. If he just gets to stick some multi-attackers, we could lose this pretty quick. Ultra Prismatic Firewall Dragon, Dark Fluid, which I'm excited to get, plus a structure, and I'm also hoping the next main box will include Signet stuff and hopefully more Code Talker linked monsters. We're getting Spectre next month, which he brings Sun Avalons to the game. I don't dislike Sun Avalons. I think Sun Avalon is a cool archetype. Obviously, like in TCG, it's primarily found a lot of success with Ricket, right? So like, there's that angle, I guess. But I think Sun Avalon on their own are pretty cool. Well, we're quite happy to see this trap gone. You put cards to the bottom. Right, goodbye my lovely Call of the Earthbound. Okay, there is a multi-attacker, but that multi-attacker isn't going to be doing much. Boops that, and boops that. Lots of back row. Guess we do set. How aggressive do we actually want to get hit? We don't really want to get too aggressive, but I don't want to like leave him with tons of annoying cards on the field. So we're going to Tribute 1, Tribute 2, Summon. We're then going to activate our skill. Boost this up, add a card to hand. I'll take my Fayaru. Then I think we're going to summon out the Fayaru, and the reason is I don't want to get blown out by a very annoying... Oh, that's an annoying mill. A very annoying... God, what's it even called? Shield and Sword, that's it. That's the one. That's the card we're thinking of. Is this the only lieutenant summoned? Yeah, do an attempt normal summon. Alright, so we will try and clear the Slayer then. And we'll pass. Now, we have left ourselves a little bit exposed, and now, like, a Dragius play would really hurt us, but we'll have to see what happens. You tried out the new Pyro spell yet? And there is exactly the Shield and Sword that we didn't want to play into. So, I don't think it matters right now. Like, I don't need to destroy back row, and the burn is so small, I think it's barely going to come up. Dragon's Return. Dragon's Return is a card I keep seeing people play, and I still don't really like it. Well, there is, unfortunately, exactly what we didn't want. We didn't want our opponent to use Shield and Sword, and we didn't want them to get multi-attackers. This is looking quite poor for us, I'm not going to lie. This is not looking like it's likely we're going to win this. Unfortunately, we're taking just a ton of damage here. And now, any multi-attack, and we're basically boned, and just leaving any monster on the field... Oh, that is so bad. If we summon this, these get boosted to 28, and that is exact lethal over that. And we can't stop 2 attacks. Which means we're basically just boned no matter what, right? I mean, this is our worst matchup, and our opponent did get incredibly lucky. But it's not looking good. All we can do is go on the defensive. I would love to clear this, because I kind of need to clear this Twin Edge, but I just die, right? Like, I don't... My win con is that he runs into this with Twin Edge. Without exactly that happening, the game's over. But, like, if I didn't do exactly what I just did, I would have lost anyway. But if he's... No matter what, there is a chance he just attacks straight over, right? There is a chance. Yes! Okay. We survived the turn. But I still don't see how we win from this position. If we also just draw nothing... Yeah, the game's over. We can't do anything from that. Yeah, he got very lucky. We got very unlucky. And this is a bad matchup for us. So, like, that's just the trifecta of we losing there. Which is going to probably put us back down to 0 points, which is so sad. That's another reason I don't like point battles, is you lose all the points you got. Yeah, we're back down to 200 points. We just went from 3rd place down to 13th, rather than it, like, feeling like it should have some sort of, like, elo system. It's just like, nope, you win, you go up, you lose, you go all the way back down. Whenever we always get Arc V stuff and Vrain stuff, I get quite excited. The recent mini-box does kinda weird. We didn't get more Arc V deck support, like Fluffles and DDD, but I think it will happen when we get Yuri. I think it makes sense to... Because we got a load of XZ stuff, effectively, right? We got Raid Raptors, and we got... And this is another Luke skill, so this is, again, our worst matchup. And we got the... Raid Raptors and Phantom Knights. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got, again, the fusion stuff together. I think that would make quite a lot of sense. Unfortunately, we just cannot punish this, like, at all, because our hand is doo-doo. Alright, I think we're going to go on the aggressive, because if we can clear this, and he doesn't draw enough monsters to actually make a play, we'll be in such a good position. Recital here is also fine. Getting rid of a back row is okay. Don't get me wrong, the mini-box is really good. PK and Raid Raptor support is really nice. PKs with Torn Scales feel so good. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for it. It's just a little bit sad, right, that we want... Am I just going to get locked against this guy as well? Because this is the second time we played against him. Right, we're just going to go next, because this is such a bad matchup for us, and we just need to get out of this guy. I think what's better for us is that we just wait a few seconds, let him queue into someone else, and then hopefully just get out of being locked against that one person. Because his deck is such a bad matchup for us. We really, really want to go against anyone else. The problem is, I don't know if we can... We can wait until he's in a game, right? We have that power. I'm gonna have to keep, like, refreshing every now and then, though. But this guy with, like, the 2 lines at the start. We're going to wait until he's in a game, because if we get stuck against him, it's just going to be uphill, 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 whereas we could just find someone that's playing a deck that we have a better matchup into. I'm expecting more Speedroid support to arrive, but honestly, I'm mostly just waiting for KOTOR. Speedroid's, like, in an okay position, though, right now. Like, it's not a terrible deck. Is that him? Little squiggle and then, like, the 3? I think that is him. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we can now queue up again, and we shouldn't be against that same person. Because, again, if we just got locked playing against that guy every single time, we were just going to get completely boned. It's one of those weird ones where I kind of want to see decks that are struggling get more support, more than I want to see decks that are, like, kind of doing okay get more support. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think, you know, every deck should get support. And obviously, there are still some new decks that we haven't got yet. Oh, we're against VTuber Korean person. This might be someone that we've played before, but I've played against a few people that have VTuber in their name. Okay, this is a pretty good open. And we even have a back row. We'll just go for the set 4 and the pass. Let's see what he's got. I've seen some builds running 3 times Clearwing since it's such a good boss monster against high-level monsters, especially fusions. I mean, yeah, depending on the meta, right? Can be really, really powerful. Straight to battle phase. Okay. Interesting. What is the logic here? Why are we balls to the walls aggressive right now? Alright, we will tribute both of these, I think. That's the start. Then we're going to summon out Flavor Inspector. We'll go ahead and fire this off. As long as we don't draw a Tribute monster, we're kind of good. Okay, that's arguably the best thing we could have drawn, to be honest. I think we will fire this off, right? If we can put pressure on while he's got a bunch of cards stuck in his hand, I think it's worth trying. Tribute 1, Tribute 2, summon out the boy, activate the skill, boost this up, add a card, we're going to add back the Fyaru, we'll summon out the Fyaru, we'll go ahead and activate Spice Effect. That was an annoying mill, but it is what it is. Then we'll just go to battle, and we will simply attack with 27. Get him for 31. And then we'll finish the game. Okay. Nice, easy win. That's, like... Depending on the deck, going, like, hyper-aggressive like that can just, like, get you massively punished. But knowing that he wasn't on, like, Magnum Overlord or anything that we thought could, like, crack back and really kill us. Uh-oh. What's going on, Konami? What's going on with your servers, Konami? There we go. Okay, we're back up to 1,100. Let's see if we can get another couple of wins. Again, if we avoid Dragius decks specifically, to be fair, in that last game, we didn't actually play against Dragius, but we did get blown out by Shield and Sword because we had to go aggressive. That's the issue, is there are some decks that force us to put more monsters in attack mode than we want to, and that's how you get punished. Noodles are going to struggle with OTK come Slime, Negate Attack being everywhere. Well, that's the thing. Like, I do appreciate that Noodles can make an OTK play, but I usually don't want to, right? I'm usually sat there like, I'm quite happy to just not push for OTK and just chill. Unfortunately, this hand is pretty bad. And Seahorse Carrier as well is one of the best draws we could get to unbrick this, but unfortunately... this is a matchup as well we're quite favoured in, but with this open, I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling confident we can beat this when we've opened 2 high-level monsters. And our back row is basically dead. Why would you attack with this? There's nothing I could have had that could have survived a 16. I mean, I make mistakes, I shouldn't. That's game over, because the only thing I can do is do nothing to keep a low level in hand. So there is nothing we can do here. The game is already over. That's a shame. Because that, again, if we just didn't brick, that's basically a free win. That matchup is so easy for us. Hopefully we'll queue into him again. That would be really nice. Like, as in getting reprinted in the box. Got to wait until the end of the year. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it is what it is, right? I get that they can play slower and burn, but your opponent is still playing and removing that burn option and slowly chipping away at your life. It won't last long. I'm thinking Resonance is going to get more popular with inherent spell trap removal. We have queued into the same person. I think, though, that for the most part, the way that Noodles work is that you will chip away at them as they chip away at you, but you chip away better because you can burn them for 1,000 as well as get an 800 boost or a 600 boost even as you're chipping through. So outside of, like we say, piercing and multi-attack, Noodles will always win like the slow, methodical control game. That's just how the deck works. But again, that doesn't always work out. This hand is so bad. Holy. I don't think we can afford to do anything, though. We just have to wait. Where are my boss monsters at? We bricked against this guy just now by opening all of our boss monsters, and now we're bricking against him again in the exact opposite way. Oh, Jesus. Where? Oh, we're 10 cards into the deck. We've seen 0 bosses. Statistically, with 6 bosses in deck, we should see 1 every 5 cards. Well, I mean, we can't do anything. We literally wait until he goes aggressive on us. The problem is the longer we're stuck in this position, the more chance that he could draw into, like, a Torna plus 7's road and, like, really apply pressure. Why are we doing nothing but drawing monsters? Even spell traps would be better than this. I don't understand how we've had 2 games this unlucky back-to-back. Okay, we'll take that. We will take that. We'll pass the turn. Okay, there is a boss, but we don't need that right now. We need the other one. This is what we hold in hand as the counter-attack. Alright, there's Spice. So now we just start spicing. So we will Tribute 1, Tribute 2. Summon this out. We'll go ahead and activate our skill. Add a card to hand. We'll add back Flavor. We'll normal out Flavor. We'll go ahead and activate Extra Spice. Then, I think the play... We already have a Pyro down, so we don't need to worry about getting another Pyro on the field right now. So we're just going to set this. We're just going to pass. We don't even need to attack. We do not need to attack. He now needs to answer us. Because we are going to kill him if he doesn't stop this. If we attack, there's a chance he has a widespread, in which case he sorts out his own problem. There we go. Magical Stream does hit the right one, although the other one still does protect us, but we don't really want to use it here. I think we do just let this die. I don't think there's a reason to try and protect. He's not even getting much damage in. This is a really good spot for us. If we could just draw out more of our extra spices as well. Like, if he didn't hit the widespread as well, we'd be in a fantastic position. But I can't use this back row because then we have nothing to prevent the Magnum Overlord from just killing us. ESA is awkward here. It's not bad. If I can, I want to end up with some of them on the board. So we're going to set this. We're then going to set this. Going to go ahead and Tribute 2. Summon this out. We'll set. Activate the skill. Boost him up. Do we want a Pyro to our hand? We don't need one. Doesn't really make much difference at the moment anyway, so I think we will. We'll take back Fayaru. Now the question is, do we bother using his effect? I think we do. Because even if we do mill that, we're in an okay spot. I don't think we need to use this yet. I think we just said it. Then we'll just go to battle, and we will just swing into this. If he uses back row, he uses back row. There's nothing we can really do about that. Okay, we got rid of the widespread ruin, which is something. Once again, we're not in a situation where we should just die. I see you with the subscription. Whoa, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great day watching our silly little point battle as we just take a chunk more damage. Ugh. But yeah, thank you so much for the sub. Really do appreciate that.
I_C_U_I_4C_4 you just subscribed.
How do we want to approach this? We probably set this. We'll go ahead and tribute our monster for this. Then we'll happily just set another monster. Can you please repeat my nickname? I4CU. Is that what we'll go with? There's no real reason to use this, but we will use it anyway. I'm going to boost this up. We're going to go straight to the battle phase, and I think we are still going to clear out the Tauner. Getting rid of Tauner is so important here. Oh, the ad break just ended, so just in case you didn't catch that. I4CU. We have so few of our back row that protect us right now, which is very sad, because it makes me just not want to go aggressive. Light sort of sank, so this is probably going to force out our back row. There's not a lot we can do about that. So here, we activate this and force it onto this. Your name sound like a Shakespeare's quote. It's so funny, second was right. I'm surprised so many stream are messing it up, but short form ICU is fine. Oh, hello there, ICU. This hand is so bad, bro. I really don't want to use that until I'm going to do anything with it, so I think we do just go on the defensive, and once again it puts us in a position where our opponent needs to find a Tauner to actually do anything. He's only used one Tauner so far, which is the scary part. Where are all of my good cards? Is what I want to know. We still got a extra spice in deck. We still have a trap card that can protect us in deck. I don't want to... Ah, there's the Tauner as well. Ugh. So we're going to have to use our Call of the Earthbound here. This has been so unlucky for us. Like, this is like as bad as this matchup can go. You can hit this. Because the problem is when we do eventually have a push, we're not going to have any of the back row to protect us. Because, yeah, there we go. No back row to protect us. Ah, oh, this is so unlucky. But there's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is hope that our guy draws into our last back row to save us. Right, we'll normal summon by tributing over this and tributing over this. Then we'll just summon this, activate the effect. Now we really need that last trap card. Or not. We can go for another shot at it, which might be the play actually. Oh, we can't even get another shot at it, we just have to go for it, right? All we can do is just go full aggressive. We Do we need that or do we need that? We need an extra body anyway. We need to do it this way. So he's Reincarnation. We have to discard this. We have to take back this. We normal. Tribute 1. Tribute 2. If that's slime, though, we lose anyway. There's nothing we can do about it if that is slime. Target this. Add a card back to hand. Grab out Fayaru. Normal summon. Activate Spice. Activate TSA. If that is slime, though, we are just dead. There is nothing we can do here. It was not slime! We are fine! Ooh! Oh, that was... Oh, that was a really, really rough game. We bricked so hard at the start. We barely found any of our traps. We barely managed to just hold in long enough. Actually, this part of a movie, and I see you, I foresee you, something great. If you can really say to someone else. Oh, we got the same matchup again. So this is the kind of matchup we want to be stuck in. We feel confident in this matchup. We just need our deck to behave. If it's like... If it's not going off the deep end in one direction or another, this should be very, very favoured towards us. Sets his whole hand. Passes the turn. Well, we can't set our whole hand. We can set a lot of it. And then we pass. Hello, how are you today? I am doing great, Number Hunter. We are currently playing in a Japanese rush point battle. Things are going okay. We have had a couple of rookie games, but I'm feeling okay about this still at the moment. I see you still have Tachyon Playmat that I chose. Respect. Yeah, we will leave it on until someone else changes it. Is this going to be a Torna play? If it's not Torna, I don't care. Okay, yeah, this is fine. You can get as aggressive as you want, buddy. Dosodon is a weird draw here. I think now is not the time for Dosodon. I don't think holding onto it is going to do anything for us either, so we're just going to set it. We're just going to pass. We really need to find a boss monster so we can attempt to attack into him. At which point he will just use a back row to stop it, but we need to get him to start using his back row. We don't actually have to do anything at the moment. Alright, we have bosses now though. Which one do we want to use? Do we start getting super aggro with extra spice? Doesn't seem like a great idea, but the alternative isn't super great either. So I think we are going to set this. We are going to go ahead and tribute to summon. We're going to set this, and we're going to set this. Unfortunately, we would really like to have another monster here, but we've drawn two bosses at the same turn, which is a little bit awkward. Then we're going to go Noodle Art Reboot. We're going to boost it up. We're going to attack, and chances are this is going to get widespreaded, and then we could get punished quite a bit, but like we have to apply pressure here. We have to get rid of the widespread at some point. So now this is what kind of sucks, because now we could take a lot of damage just because we didn't draw enough normal summons, and there's nothing we could do about that, right? Like, there was no other play outside of just not attacking, in which case he just gets to keep applying pressure, and we are constantly under the threat. That is very good. He got very greedy. Can you show me your Noodle Ninja deck list? I want to make it for Rush format. So, one... Oh, that is so unlucky. Alright. We have to do this then. So we're going to activate Talisman Auxiliary. Put this back. We'll put this back. Do I even want you back in my deck right now? I don't think I do. Let's do these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Target this. Then we will activate Monster Reincarnation. We'll discard Spice. And then we just need to get back anything that we can just normal summon. All set. Set. We'll go ahead and Tribute 1, Tribute 2. Summon out the boy. Then we'll go ahead and activate the skill. Boost him up. And we'll grab back a body. We'll always set back the Fyaru. Now the question is, do we get greedy? I don't think we do. I think I'd rather guarantee we keep this around. Because there should be nothing he has that stops this from, like, attacking. We'll just pass on that. Can you see the deck? Yeah, we can show you the deck if you want. This is the deck we're currently on. But, again, caveat is that I think this deck will get weaker as the new box comes out. As all the new stuff comes out. So, take it with a pinch of salt. Right now, I think this is a really strong deck. I think this deck will get naturally weaker as the new cards and new skills come out. My Galaxy Eyes deck is almost done, by the way. I just need to pull one more Galaxy Soldier. Nice. We have used quite a few of our tools already, which is a little bit sad. What was his back row then? He could activate it when I declared an attack. So it's either going to be like Curtain of Sparks, or the Barrier, or Earthbound. I don't think he could play Earthbound in this list, because he's got to be on 3 Magnum Overlord, right? There's no way he's not. Okay, he hit a Call of the Earthbound. He hit a second Call of the Earthbound. If he drops the maximum now and has exact lethal... I haven't done the math, so I have no idea, because I was sat behind 2 Call of the Earthbound. Stop defense. Oh god, this is so cringe if he's actually going to drop the max now. So what would he be? He would have 3,500 plus... He's down 800. He could gain 1,600. Be 59 minus the 13. 46. Oh, come on, bro. He is squeaked out almost exact lethal with this cringe-ass play. All as girl because he got lucky and managed to 2 for 2 my Earthbounds, which would have protected me. Ah, that is so gross. He needed exactly that combination of cards. And he needed exactly to hit the exact right back row. That's a shame. That is so sad. That's so very sad. Like, we played better than him, and he just got lucky. That's so sad. Ah, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Unfortunately, even if we have multiple cards to defend, if he just gets that lucky, we can't do anything about that. Like, there was nothing, there was no other line we could have done to win that. That was literally just, I needed him to not lose. Or I needed him to lose one, either the 33 or the 50-50. Right. We're against someone different now. Playing Nail, so this is either going to be aggro or Cyber. Cyburst, we don't really care about. Aggro is our worst matchup, so we really do not want to be against aggro. Could you have outed, though, if he hit the TSA instead? Yeah, we just kill him. Like, so as soon as that happens, we can just go defensive, right? We just put everything in defense mode, and then we're just fine for the rest of the game. Or we just wait until we do draw into something that can kill it. Like, all we need is access to Spice, and we just have it out immediately. I think you underestimate just how big Spice can get, my friend. The question is, was he playing more than one copy of Stop Defense? And also, I still don't think Stop Defense is better than Pierce because Earthbound is in the format. So, I think, realistically, he shouldn't be on Stop Defense anyway. I think he should be on Pierce. Mind you, I suppose, how many decks are actually playing Earthbound? Okay. Cyburst doesn't have access to piercing. They're not going to have that many weak monsters. So we will set these two. We'll go ahead and Tribute 2. Summon out the extra Spice. We'll flip over stock. activate the effect, throw stock in the bin. Then we will activate our skill. Target this. I would love to add a stock to my hand. And we're just going to go defensive with these. Then we'll see if our opponent has the widespread. Okay, no delay. Might have just not wanted to use it. In Magnum, stop defense is better. Can synergize with the skill so you don't have to make a Magnum play push with SRM except. The problem with that is, though, that doesn't out Call of the Earthbound. And Call of the Earthbound is now picking up popularity as the out to Magnum. So, like, if you just have the Pierce, you ignore Call of the Earthbound for the most part. But if you don't, you know, if you have stop defense, you can play around it better. Like, it's a weird one. Right, we'll summon out Flavor Inspector. Activate Extra Spice. Burn for the 1,000. Draw a card. We'll set. Activate the skill. Boost up Extra Spice. Go to the battle phase, or just swing. Get in front of the 15, and pass the turn. Because the question then becomes, do you play Stop Defense because it works better in synergy with your own deck, but is really bad into a lot of matchups? Or do you play the one that's harder to counter, but worse synergy with the deck, I guess? Like, for me, I look at it and I go, well, yeah, I'd rather have the one that's harder to get countered. But I can understand as well, because, like, at the end of the day, like I said, how many people are actually playing Call of the Earthbound? Like, Aggro isn't playing it. Anything that has limit 3s in their deck aren't playing it, so Overlord isn't playing it. Harpies aren't playing it. So, like, do you use it just for noodles? Probably not. Any speed duels today? Probably not going to be on speed today. We've got a big rush week. So this is probably going to be the same Overlord deck. This could be 7's XL Road, to be fair. This could be SAR. That's a Thunder Gazelle. So this is probably 7's XL then. Does have the Gazelle. Not a Gazelle, the Tawna, that's what I meant to say. We are going to flip something up. Does flip up my highest attack monster, which is quite nice for us. This is, again, why we built our deck in this way with high attack monsters, because we expect this to happen a lot more than piercing at the moment. That's just to get the hand empty, which means this is probably a 7's Road Witch or a Tawna in hand. I don't think you'd do that otherwise. I suppose it could be a 7's Road Magician. That is the alternative. Alright, we'll set. Tribute 1, Tribute 2. How many do we have in graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want 5 to stay in grave. So we'll activate Noodle Art Reboot. Boost this up and not take a card. Then we'll summon out Flavor Inspector. The only problem with this is, this gets hard... Oh, that is a really bad mill. Punished by Shield and Sword. I mean, there's nothing we can really do about that, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we've drawn quite poorly. Having no back row in this position is really rough. Like, we had an extra card, basically, because we just chose to not add thingy back to our hand. Maybe some Pokemon Black and White music? I mean, maybe. And he had the Shield and Sword and the Sword and Shield. That is cripplingly bad. This is lethal, right? Unless he is like the worst 7's Axaro player in the world, this is just lethal. Yeah, it's lethal on board. Jesus, we got hard sacked there. Holy crap. That was like the high roll to end all high rolls right there. Shield and Sword, Sword and Shield, had the Tawna to apply pressure early, had the 7's Road Magician in hand. We didn't draw any back row. That was everything that went wrong. Everything that could go wrong went wrong right there. I think Pierce is better in decks with multi-attack, but Stop Defense is better in any decks with skills that boost your attack or reduce your opponent's attack. Yeah, but like, do you not agree that for Magnum Overlord specifically, if you're planning to run into Earthbound, you would rather have Pierce than Stop Defense? Because like you flip my guy up, okay, Magnum Overlord attacks that guy in defense mode instead. It's like, I don't know, it feels weird to me to not do that. Hello, Dwan. What are we doing with this? We are going to just set. We'll set. Are we just leaving this in hand? I don't really want this in my hands early. I think we do. Let's hope this doesn't brick us. You took new spell for Noodle Ninjas from Tagdal? Yeah, we have one copy of it. But again, I don't think we need it right now. Like, if we wanted to play back row removal, we could be playing it right now, right? We could have been playing it before this. But I don't think we need to pop back row. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some matchups where, like, being able to pop back row would have helped us win a game, but... Alright, we'll set. We will just go for the extra spice here, I think. We will activate Noodle Art Reboot. Question is, are we burning for the 1,000? I want to, but I think it would be very reckless to from this position. Even just leaving these two in hand is reckless. I really don't want to summon out a second one, though. I think we're just going to pass. I think we are just going to pass. If I attack into a widespread, we are in such a bad position. What streaming program to use? We use OBS. In a vacuum with just Magnum, it would depend on the monsters the meta is seeing. Seeming as monsters now have more than 0 defense, I don't think it would matter, but Magnum is in a deck which can put out beat sticks and has Tauna plus skill. Do we pop that? I think I'd rather use this, you know. You can kill this one. Okay, we'll take that. Alright, so that's another player I'd really like to avoid. So if we're actually trying to, like, do well here, we really want to avoid specific players. So this guy we want to avoid. He's currently in a game. So you have dual room open. Are you going to play with us? No, this is our this is a point battle we're in. This is the room code for that. I suppose we don't actually need that to be up there anymore. Let's get rid of that. So we want this guy to go away as well, ideally. So we'll probably sit out for a couple of minutes and see if they start doing other bits and bobs. See if he gets into another game. Because again, if we can avoid specific matchups, we should. That's just like how you play a point battle, right? How did you get so many gems? You have 999? It's just saving up, right? Just doing the daily grinds. I don't know how often this updates. But yeah, we're ready for all of the Rush content that is dropping this week and next week. Are you free to play? Basically, yes. We do spend money where we need to. And what I mean by that is like the second and third copy of some structures. So usually it's just like the third copy of structures. Alright, is that guy still in? The other guy we want to avoid is not started up a game. I think we will just risk it and queue in anyway. Like, we can't just sit here not playing for ages and ages and ages. Let's see what happens. One with the 3-stream streak. Whoa. Hog. Okay, let's see what this guy's playing. Luke! Luke is what we don't want to play. Why are so many people on Luke? This might not be a good day for us, bros. We can win this matchup. It's just we have to get hyper aggressive and we have to hope that they don't have a lot of back row. And again, we still can't get aggressive until they get aggressive on us because our aggression can't beat set 3 pass. I mean, that's not a bad open, all things considered. This is my third stream as well. Ha ha ha. Well, always do appreciate the company. Alright, what is our opponent going to do? And which skill is he going to be on? I think so far we've played against one Dragon's in Blaster's Inferno. We've played against one guy that was playing... God, what is it called? Dragonic Resonance. Dragonic Pressure now? Why? Is your hand, like, super bricked up? That just seems so weird to me. All of that, and we're... I guess you still get the draw. Oh, no, you don't get the draw because it's effect monsters, right? Face up non-level 3 dragon type monsters. Oh, your opponent has a face at level 7. That's what it doesn't have. Okay. Okay. Well. I guess we'll start with a Seahorse Carrier. Go ahead and use its effect. Grab back Canaan. Set this. We'll go ahead and Tribute 1. Tribute 2. Summon out the boy. Summon out the Flavor Inspector. Activate Extra Spice. We'll fling a Flavor Inspector at him for 1,000. That's not a terrible draw. Noodle Art Reboot. Target this. We'll grab a card back. We'll grab back the Flavor Inspector. Now the question is, do we want to clear this board? It's a little bit... We could get hard punished. And we'd have to shuffle both of those back in. So there's no way I'm using this. No way. So we set. We set. We set. I think we do summon out the Canaan still, because I really don't want to give him like the extra draw. Now we could get punished really, really badly. If this guy just like draws, you know, like Shield and Sword, he gets to punish us so hard. Like we do just kind of die. But again, we have to... Okay, Dragon's Return. Everyone is on this card. For Duel Links, For Duel Links, you are the best streamer I ran into? I appreciate that. I don't inherently think that's true. I think there are a lot of people better at streaming than I am. Right, what is our opponent going to do? That is the next question. What is he going to do? 5 cards in hand, 1 body on board. That means he could easily summon out 2 boss monsters. That is the scary one. I really do not want to deal with Twin Edge. Summons out Piercing Dragon Bunker Strike. So this might be to try and dig for something that will help. If he does find... Like, it's not too hard for him to get, like... Hi, Rush Sucks. Welcome on in, Space Shuttle. With the hot take. I'm a better streamer and I don't even stream, joke. Pro Manicus, that might be true, like, we don't know. Friday's Point Battle is going to be fun after the new cards launch, and I can join this week too. Nice. I've kind of skipped the last couple. Like, not for any, like, specific reason, it's just, like, Point Battles can get a bit funky. Do we stop this attack, is the next question. Protecting 1 body on the board? Like, what does that get me? Potentially an okay next board? I think we just let this go, to be honest. If he got a direct attack, I would be more willing to stop the attack. Right. That's unfortunate. We have to clear the Dragius either way. There's nothing we can do about that. So, this is going to entirely come down to does he draw another boss monster? Which is not a great position for us to be in. Because the second boss monster is just lethal. But what else can we do? We took too much damage at the start from his board wipe. We'll just get a little pokey in with this. And we'll just pass. Alright. Maybe I should have killed this instead. But then either way, if he did summon out another boss, I'd have to use the attack to stop on that. And then he could just get in with another 3 attacks anyway. No, I think it would have been better to kill the Piercing Dragon Bunker Strike, right? Because he summons out another boss, attacks into this, I stop it. Then he just attacks with that and it's game. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here, right? We've taken too much damage. Our win con here is that he misplays. That's a misplay. The win con. It's happening. No. I cannot spend gems in Rush. I'm physical unable to do it somehow. I mean, that is completely fine. Oh, where are my boss monsters at, bros? What back row have we seen from him? We've seen the widespread. The play might just be to set monsters. How much damage could we possibly get down? We don't have thingy engraved, just him. That'd be 1,000. Put him down to 23. Boost up to 3,000. Attack over that 15. No, there's nothing we can do with that. So all we can do is play defensive and hope he does not draw into what he needs. And I think we even have to keep the reincarnation in hand. If he draws a multi-attack, we are just boned. We just need to just bank on the fact he just won't draw Dragius, and he won't draw... Okay, he has Dragonic Pressure as well. So this guy's deck has Dragonic Pressure, and Dragius, and Twin Edge. I suppose we don't know he has Dragius. No, we do know he's got Dragius, right? We saw one. I'm sure we saw one. Yeah, we did see one. So this guy's deck is, like, hard built to counter us. Like, it's the most anti-Noodle Dragon deck I have ever seen. So that is someone we really, really have to avoid if we want to keep playing in this point battle. We haven't got long for the point battle before it ends, but... We're at 14th, that's not good. So the two we really want to avoid is this guy and this guy, because their decks hard counter us. If we don't play against them, we should be fine to pretty much beat anyone. As long as, you know, we don't get bricked or sacked. Unfortunately, neither of them are currently playing games, which is very scary for us. Check the room members, see how people are doing. I'm sure the top people are a bit like 4,000 by now. 6,000, Jesus. I wonder what they're playing. This guy that we beat earlier is doing quite well. This guy is the guy that we're trying to avoid. And this is the other guy we're trying to avoid. It's these two. So there's one and there's two. So they're both in games. So... we should be okay to queue. I'm surprised there's so many. There's 3 different people with dragon decks here. Which again, isn't like, it's not unheard of, right? It's just dragons haven't been like popping off as of late. Hey, Griffin Blaze. Welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. And when you look at that, goal completed. Ooh. Is this going to be the boy? Please don't be aggro. Please be Fiends. If this is Fiends, if this is Warrior Rebels, we should be okay. Even with this god-awful hand. Destin Requiem. Okay. Ooh, that's a toughie. Because I'd like to clear that. But I'd have to commit something big to actually get rid of it. With this hand, that is not something I'm willing to do. So we are just going... just go a little bit defensive. And we'll just see what he does. Hello, just saw you streaming via Discord. Gonna be lurking for a bit. Well, I appreciate it. Appreciate the company. And there is Alpacalyptic. Oh my god, it's Noodles. Welcome on in. Tributes 2. Summons out the heavy metal. Okay. What's the next part of the plan? Stop defense! Wow, Japan is really on the spice, aren't they? So much stop defense going around. It's the second stop defense we've seen today. Then he's going to use Phaser. Phaser brings back Doom Metal. That's a Masaki. Okay, so this is the quite generic kind of build that we've been seeing around. We're going to use a widespread here because we don't really want to take 3,500 damage. Hey, been a while. Yeah, missed you, man. Alright, we will set. I think we go Spice here. Because we're not going to sacrifice for the burn anyway. So I think we're just going to do this. Summon out the boy. We'll go Noodle Art Reboot. Target this. Add a card to hand. We will just add probably Flavor Inspector. I don't think he's going to have any Pierce. There's a chance he's another stop defense. We'll set. There's no reason to mill. There's a high chance we mill something we don't want in the graveyard. So we're just going to get a battle and we'll just swing. I just want that gone. Because that can cause problems. Now, unfortunately, again, what we really want is 3 monsters on the board. 3 monsters on the board puts us in such a strong position. Only having 2 kinda sucks. But if he doesn't have... I was going to say if he doesn't have a heavy metal, we're in actually not a bad position here. But... oh, Doom Metal to hand. Okay. Death Doom Requiem. I'm assuming he's got a lot of high levels in hand then. There's no way you don't summon out an 8 alongside this, right? There's no way. Yeah, there we go. Tribute both for Doom Metal. I think this is a little bit weird, though. I don't think you needed to do this. I think you could just keep the card in hand. But then if you don't have a second 8, you'd be bricked up. You don't really want to have multiple invasions stuck in the hand. I guess I can understand that. Doom Metal burns us for 7. That is really, really bad for us. Is that just lethal? That's 5,200. Oof. We are getting heavily punished. That is a really, really bad draw as well. What is this hand, bro? Oh my god. The deck has just not been playing ball today. Like, at all. Like, we have been bricking out of our arsehole today. Right, we'll summon out the boy. We'll activate Noodle Art Reboot. We'll target it and grab back a Flavor Inspector. So we still could use that and get back another body. Like, what does that actually get me? Not a ton, to be honest. I think we'll just summon out Flavor Inspector. We'll burn and we'll go for the draw. That is potentially okay. The problem is we have to get super aggressive, which means we do lose to, you know, exactly what he wants to do. But we're so low on life that I don't think we can afford to not. This is a really cool development, though, because he has effectively crafted his deck in such a way to be able to counter the stall strategy that made this such a 100% win rate matchup for me. Alright, we'll discard this. We will then grab back... I think it's just got to be a Pyro Boy, right? We'll grab back Stop. I think we are going to go for the burn again. It's very greedy to do this, but we're in such a bad position that we're going to have to high roll anyway. That is not what we really wanted to see, but we'll set it anyway. Go to battle. We'll just swing over this. Boop. And we'll swing over this. So, if he gets Pierce, we are dead. If he summons out a Doom Metal, we are dead. If he summons a Heavy Metal and is able to just summon 3 monsters, we are dead. I really like this build. This is a really, like, it's kind of jank in how it's constructed, but it does have everything it needs. Oh, there's that piercing, so that's just us dead. But it does have everything it needs to play around exactly our deck. Like, this is the anti-noodle version of this deck, which is really, really cool. I do really like that. So we can stop 1 attack. So we're kind of okay with that. And he only gets the 1 pierce. Boop. And that's the win. So you were dead in general? No, we won. We win these. What are you talking about, 1 for a 1 master? I mean, it's a weird one, right? Because we were kind of bricking up to that point anyway. So, like, they were being able to take advantage of the fact that we were drawing so badly. Because we got stuck with so many high levels in hand there. And if we do just see our trap cards, we're, like, going to be in a pretty good position. Like, we prevented taking a ton of damage turn 1 just because we opened the widespread. If we didn't open that widespread, we could have been in a very, very precarious position. But already, I am seeing more, like, challenge from this point battle than I have, like, in some of the recent tournaments I played in. Like, these players are just, like, they're on the spice. They've been really teching their decks to win these matchups. And we have been struggling in some matchups that, for the most part, are pretty free. But you played that the best you could. I didn't expect less from one of the best Rush players anyway. I don't know if I'd say I'm one of the best Rush players. I think I'm, like, decent. Like, I'm okay. I don't know if I would, like, say I'm one of the best. Like, I'm sure I've got a few tournament wins under my belt, but I think there are better players than me. We will go ahead and activate the skill here. Add a card to hand. We'll grab back the Fyaru. Summon out the Fyaru. Activate the extra spice. Ping some damage at him. We will then set. And then do we go aggressive? I think we do just pass. If he has a widespread, we get punished so much for attacking. I think we just don't bother attacking. We're in an okay position right now. This forces an answer from him. He now needs to go aggressive against us. We're in an okay spot. The only thing attacking does is gets rid of the widespread, if he has widespread. Clearing a body as well doesn't do a lot against this deck. He can, like, cheat monsters out so easily anyway. I think unless we have a play ready to go for the follow-up, we just don't bother. Okay, he is on Magician Shuffle, which means, okay, that is really good. Getting rid of the Shield and Sword now is so good for us. Wait, how much damage could he pull off? He goes, what, 35 plus 16 plus 10. Oh god, that's lethal. Doing 1,000 damage means he has lethal if he just summons the max. I mean, we do have the back row to protect. So we will be fine unless he pops that, but... Hello! How do we pronounce that name? Carigurt? Carigreat? Car Yogurt. How do we pronounce this name? I don't know if I've pronounced it before, but... That one made my brain shut down for a second then. Tributes 2. Summons out the Sevens Road Magician. Then we set a monster. Tribute that for the Sevens Road Witch, which means this is SAR. Okay. It's turn 3, so you don't get the extra search. By doing this, we've made room? Oh, we do just have all 3. Okay. Oh, we're playing Dark Sword. Okay. I think we just let this all happen. We can't stop this in any meaningful way. We could take 600 less damage. So it's like, yeah, go for it. Okay, this is actually scarier than the alternative, to be honest. I think we set. We set. We'll go ahead and summon out the extra spice. Not having, like, good trap cards right now feels really bad. Right, we'll summon out Flavor Inspector. We'll activate the effect. Burn for 1,000, draw a card. That's not bad. It doesn't, like, solve the problems I'm having right now, but it's not bad. Because we are going to be forced to attack, and we don't have any way to stop an attack. We haven't seen either of the 2 trap cards that could do that, which means there is an okay chance we do just kind of die. Which is never really where you want to be. Right, we just need him to just not have the widespread. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, we shouldn't die this turn. We shouldn't. Are you going to change Noodles for another deck with a new mini box, and which one? We're going to test them, right? Right now, I'm feeling like I really want to try out Blue Eyes when the structure deck comes out, and I really want to try out Machines. But they have opposite problems. Machine deck is a good all-rounder, but doesn't have a really good skill to use with it. And Blue Eyes doesn't really have a good way to beat set 3 pass. So I'm just like, I don't know which one I'm going to go with at the end of the day. The thing is, the format is slowing down, or currently is slowed down enough, that we can just start playing cards as we've seen, like Stop Defense. Like, we've seen that a couple of times today. Okay. Tributes 2. Summons out a second. How many high-level monsters are we on in this deck, bro? What? I mean, again, we can't stop this now, because he's got 2 monsters that can beat over. And he's going defensive. Okay, we just let this go then. Talismanic Seal Array. We don't die from this position. The eternal problem of losing to set 3 pass. Exactly. If your deck doesn't have something to do around it, then, like, what's even the point? That's 2,000 damage. Unfortunately, he is just getting in for just a lot more damage than we would like. But, like, we couldn't stop him anyway. We haven't got the right back row. If we had either of our other 2 trap cards, we would be okay. That is a really weird hand. Okay, let's do some things. Do we have... She's not in the graveyard yet. That is a little bit annoying. So I could summon, tribute both, get out that, use the effect, bring back a body, tribute that to burn, get a draw, summon, get 2 bodies, do that. I think that's probably the best we're going to get. This might go tits up. We're going to have to just see what happens here. So we'll summon this. It's all going to depend on the draw, really. So I really want to get greedy and have the Flame Serve at the end, is the issue. So we're going to activate Noodle Arc Reboot, target this, add a card to hand. Now the question is, are we going to burn for the 1,000? I think we need to burn for the 1,000 to get enough damage in. So I think we are just going to do that. If we draw a normal summon, we're going to be in such a good position. Is what it is. It shouldn't make too much of a difference anyway, because the 3rd attack doesn't matter. So we'll summon this. I mean, I could even do that. It's not a terrible play. Use that, discard that, bring that back, summon, summon. I don't even think that's worth it, though. I think we're better off just doing this. Tribute, tribute, summon, activate the effect. Then I will activate Monster Reincarnation here. And this is just to, like, really try and make sure everything's going to be chill. Grab this back. We'll set it. Then we're going to activate TSA. Shuffle some boys back. Weaken that. Go to battle, swing it. Buffered slime! That's sad. That makes me very sad. Ooh. Again, we didn't respect the slime, but like our alternative was kind of a nothing turn. We could just die here. Realistically, we could just die here. We did kind of play around this, so we're kind of okay. But depends what he's got. If he's really high rolled, we're just dead here. One of the wonders of Rush, really. We may see pleasant surprises with the Blue Eye structure deck, as we haven't seen every card in it, so to tackle the set 3 pass. It depends though, right, Griffin? Because I'm not a big data miner, right? But I feel like if the cards were in the game, we would already know about them via data mining. So I think the rest of the structure deck isn't going to be any new cards, is like my feeling, right? So I'm not expecting anything else to really help them out. And the only other card they could really get, I feel, would be like Burst Stream of Destruction, which I think would be very, very strong. But I don't think they're going to get it, because I think we would have had it data mined. Is that a Light Sorcerer of Sanctity? That's 2 lights. That is awkward. Puts me down to 16. Tributes. Summons out. Okay. Oh, so we're going to use the effect to swap out. Go up to 28. Then you have 2 monsters, and then I can't beat that. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, he's played around it perfect. He had lethal! He had lethal! Bro had lethal and then scooped. Okay, we'll take it. We didn't see any of the trap cards. If we had found a Widespread or a Majesty, we would have been fine through anything. We would have been just fine, but he didn't. It was the time limit win. He didn't spend a lot of time thinking. Like, on his previous turns, he didn't have like a particularly long turn. Roa Cassidy. So this is probably going to be this like piercing stop defense build of this deck. We've talked about it in the Discord before. We already have the answers for set 3 in Pierce and Stop Defense. We just aren't using them for various reasons. But that's the problem. If we're not using them, we don't have them. Which sounds weird when you say it out loud. Like, we're not playing them because they're bad, right? For the most part. We don't want to be wasting cards on that, I guess, is the takeaway. Burn for the 1,000, get the draw. That is a really bad draw. Okay. I mean, another normal summon would have been so good here, but do we just hoard this in hand? I don't think I want to. I think I'd rather draw into something better. We're just gonna... We'll go for the attack. If it is Widespread and we get punished, we get punished. That's what it is. So it's got. Alright. What have you got for me, sir? Oh. Yeah, I think the thing is, people don't want to play these spell cards that aren't searchable, aren't reusable, right? Especially when some decks just have built-in ways that they can use to just beat set 3 pass. It feels really bad if you have to rely on an external source to do it. Ah, that's a little bit annoying, to be honest. Having this in defense is really nice, but I think we're going to just burn it away. Goodbye, Serb. Go ahead and activate our skill. I don't even think we're going to do anything off of this, right? think we just set these two and then we just pass. If we want to do another burn, we can next turn with Spice, but I don't really want to have too many high levels on the field. And now he's got 3 back row. I'm hesitant to attack with this. Again, he has to answer this. They're not bad, they only work in certain conditions, and people want a card or cards that do multiple things. But it's also like the -1 aspect, right? You have to find access to the card, and then when you use it, it's kind of spent. It hasn't, like, solved. It's a weird one. Getting, like, just damage in for a card basically means it's just a burn spell, and that feels weird, right? What if Konami gives Burst Stream of Destruction for Blue Eyes? I think that'd be fine. Yeah, people aren't playing those decks. It's like saying, I want to pop his whole board with my deck, but I don't want to play Royal Rebels. Okay, so you make a decision to not play something, then you shouldn't complain you don't have access to something when you could because you play those card/decks. I think I get what you're saying, right? I understand that point of view, but I think a deck that has easy access to in-archetype or in a skill, because if it's in a skill, it's even better, because you never even lose a card, you always have access to it, it's 100% of the time, right? So like Harpies have a skill that is just completely insane, right? And having to rely on a Pierce or a Stop Defense just to basically catch up to what Harpies get to do for free, and they gain so much value off of, just feels kind of bad. Now, again, when you have it in archetype, that also feels okay. Or when it's attached to a body, right? Like gaining piercing off of Piercing Samurai feels kind of okay because it's on a body, you're not losing anything for it, you can get the piercing and then just sack it off if you really want to. There's just a lot of things you could do with it. Whereas, when you're doing it with, like, not that... Oh, how do we want to do this, actually? Do we attack over that, or do we just set? I think we will try and attack over it. We'll see what he does. If he uses, like, back row to stop Flavor Inspector, then so be it. Boop. And we'll just pass. Doesn't Burst Stream of Destruction stop you from attacking with Blue Eyes? Is the Rush version better? No, it's exactly the same. But in the modern version of the game, you'd make a card become Blue Eyes or summon out of Blue Eyes. Burst Stream of Destruction to get rid of the whole board. Then you'd fuse your Blue Eyes off into Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then just kill them with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is quite easy to do with the deck. So that's the logic, is in the modern version, it doesn't matter. In the Rush Duel version, or in the Duel Links version, what you would do is say, alright, this monster can't attack, but these other monsters still can attack. So that's how I'm going to, like, get to your life points. I'm going to say, I'm going to wipe your whole board, and then I'm just going to attack you with this. Oh no, Dosodon. Hey, I'm back. Welcome back. Hey, it stops Blue Eyes from attacking, even in Rush. Well, that's cringe. I think it's the same, but at least you potentially have lethal with other monsters. Yes, that is the point exactly. You can just kill them with other monsters. What did he tribute there? I completely missed that. Oh, he used that one. Okay. Unfortunately, this is 4,000 damage we can't really deal with. This build of the deck is really cool. I really, really like this Royal Rebel list. Like, this is like super anti-Noodles. And I really like they've adapted to this. And I think it's really cool. How do we want to play this now, though? If we go aggressive, we can just randomly die, which really sucks. But, like, what else can I do? So we'll set. Tribute 1, Tribute 2. Summon out the boy. We'll go ahead and activate Noodle Arc Reboot. Add a card back to hand. We'll just grab back the Fayaru. We will then... I think we're still set. We still have decent back row to protect us. I think we are going to try and push for some damage if we can with Spice. I think we still always have to clear Doom Metal. Giving him easy access to tributing out the big boys is what we really don't want. We want him to have to work for it. I just ran into full odd shiny Magby in Pokemon Ultra Moon Dam. Nice, nice. Well, you will deal with one or the other. can't just expect to get a deck that wipes opponent's board without heavy restrictions. Yeah, that is the point, right? If you could wipe the whole board with Burst Stream of Destruction and then just attack them with like 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, the game's over, right? That would be tier 0. Hey, Daisy Ridley, thanks for the follow. Really do appreciate it. Okay, we shouldn't die here. We should not die here. We might die here, but we shouldn't die here. Okay, that's fine. It's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. No, it's not fine. We die. There's nothing we can do about it. There is nothing we can do about it. Because of exactly Rogue of Archfiend, we die here. I mean, yeah. Rogue of Archfiend really did clinch that for him. That's very sad. Follow goal completed. Let's go. Yeah. I know this game. Yes, this is Duel Links, and we're playing Rush Duel in it. Alright, I don't think we're going to be able to finish another game before it ends, so we're probably going to finish, like, around 9th, but we'll see if we can get another one. If we had won that game, there's, like, a chance we break, like, top 5, maybe, but I think at this point, I think we're probably just kind of done. Okay. The game's playing silly buggers with us now. I mean, what are we supposed to do with this, eh? Tribute, summon out. I think we have to use the effect. The chances of us drawing something usable should be very, very high at this stage. That wasn't English. Well, I don't really know any other languages, so I don't know what else it could have been. We will get battle. If he's got it, he's got it. I think at this point we have to play a little bit high roll. Okay, we're against Noodles. So this is a very, very poor start for the mirror. I'll tell you that right now. Unless he just doesn't have anything. Like, we need him to have bricked hard. Hey, it's Dosodon. Someone's out Spice. Someone's out Stock. He's going very aggressive here. I suppose we haven't got any back row. He must have good back row to protect him, which is very scary. Unfortunately, open a brick here, I think, was probably a death sentence. And there's just another brick. That is the game. I mean, what do we want to do here? I could summon that out. Tribute for the Serb. Attack. Hope his back row is absolutely nothing. Then could do that. No matter what, we cannot use our skill. Our skill requires us to have one of our bigger boys out, so we can't get an extra body. We've seen, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 of our high levels out of our 6 in the top 9 cards, which is very unfortunate. Are you on triple boss monsters? No, we're on 3 of the extra spice. We're on 2 spice, and we are on flame serb. Which again, statistically means we should see 1 in every 5 cards, but that is just not how it's been going. See you, Tomato. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, I guess we'll do what we can, right? We'll set. We will tribute over for this. Do we even bother using the TSA? That's the next question. Do we set it or do we activate it? I mean, I don't think it does much for us if we activate it, realistically. We've kind of got our graveyard set up where we want it. So we'll probably set, then we will go to battle, and we will attempt to attack over this and see what he does. He's going to have something, right? Nothing, okay. Okay, well, if he doesn't draw a boss monster, we might be alright. Tributes 2. Summons out the extra spice. Summons out the Tang. Has the Fiery Blaze. Little does he know it does absolutely nothing here because TSA is not going to be useful. Burns for the 1,000. Summons out the Seahorse. See, this is what happens when you don't brick. You get to do all of this. Unfortunately, we're sat here with 2 big old bricks in our hand. Our opponent must know it, right? Because we haven't played them. He's still on the Roastery, okay. On the double Roastery. So he's playing like the super hyper aggressive version of the deck. I don't even know why he played Dossidon in that version, to be honest. Alright, well that should be the point battle over. Let's take a look and see where we placed. Hopefully we stayed in top 10. Top 10 would be nice. Hey, we finished in 9th. We'll take that. Not like our best performance, but we did run into a lot of decks that hard countered us, and we also did get very unfortunate in a lot of them. This was... no, that wasn't him. Where's the guys we were worried about? This guy that ended in 6th. He was scary. This guy was scary for us. Ended in 12th. This is the guy we beat up a ton that's playing Magnum Overlord. We beat this guy. We lost to this guy. He's all the way down here. There's Nanao himself, who actually either just stopped playing or something. I don't even know. But I don't know what QQQ was playing. I don't think we have a way to find out. But that, the like anti-stool, I guess, or I don't even know what to call it. Just like the new Royal Rebel build, I think is really cool. Just being able to like bash through. Can you see which deck got first? No, we can't, unfortunately. Also, Maximums really didn't go anywhere, did they? I mean, we can have a look at room replays. I mean, Maximums are still doing quite well. Unfortunately, QQQ looks like stopped playing towards the end, and therefore does not have any replays left. Because only a certain number of replays actually do save. Who finished in 2nd? We can go and see if their deck's up here. These symbols. 3 symbol names. See if we see any of them. Oh, well, spectate's not going to do anything, is it? I want replays. Let's take a look. No, none of the top 3 are here, so we're not going to see any of them. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Well, with that, I think it is about time we talk about all of the leaks. I think that's going to be the next fun thing. So, whilst we're doing that, and I suppose I bring this up, I have to just make sure there's nothing new happening. We will just do a couple of Water Devils in the background. So, we have some lovely leaks. Some lovely, lovely, lovely leaks. And we want to talk about all of it, because... I mean, it's new Rush stuff, right? Who doesn't love new Rush stuff? And we did get some interesting news today, which is some of the restrictions, I guess, the limit regulation. But first things first, we're going to go and take a look at the new bundles, because, you know, new bundles are cool, right? Who doesn't love new bundles? We get 2 new cards, Negate Attack and Forever Freeze. Negate Attack is a very, 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 very powerful trap card. This card is actually, it's not that old. Like, this card I think came out like 8 months ago maybe in the physical game. Like, it wasn't super long ago. But this card is bonkers, right? Being able to completely shut down the battle phase is insane. This is also a card that stops Magnum Overlord, who is like the cringiest card in the game, right? No offense to Magnum Overlord players. It just really sucks when you're like in a pretty commanding position and then your opponent just summons the guy and just kills you out of nowhere. No one likes that. It's not fun to be on the receiving end of that. It's not unfun to be on the, you know, giving end of that, but Negate Attack is a very good trap card because it kind of just works on everything, right? Now, eventually we will get cards that just say things like, Your opponent cannot use traps in the battle phase. And good examples of this would be things like Mirage Dragon, which will be a legend that we'll get eventually. You know, everyone knows Mirage Dragon from the TCG. Your opponent can activate trap cards during the battle phase. That will be able to stop it. As well as in the future, we will get Pitch Black Warwolf, which does exactly the same thing. So when we get these cards, there are a couple of others. Like, I think there is a Sea Serpent Maximum card. I have to remember what they're called now. I think both of these actually have the effect. Yeah, if you have no monsters in your graveyard, your opponent can't activate trap cards when this card declares an attack. And then I think this also has a similar one. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, this card cannot be destroyed. Also, if the card's a max mode, your opponent can activate any trap cards when it declares an attack. So we will be getting cards that do still stop negate attack. So it's not just like forever going to be really good. And that's why in the future, some other trap cards that have different activation timings will be more important, like Torrential Tribute, just being able to use it on summon instead of having to wait for the battle phase where it can get turned off. And then the newer one, which has been seeing a lot of play, is Compulsory Evacuation Device. It's really, really strong legend cards. Are we getting a new version of Dragius? Yes, we are. We're getting the Metagears, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They've announced in-game, so technically not leaks anymore. I mean, yeah, but not all of this has, right? Like, so for example, I think the Blue Eyes stuff hasn't been announced yet. And when we talk about that, that will be a leak, right? So there is that. But yeah, Negate Attack, in my opinion, this card replaces Widespread Ruin. Now, that is a little bit of a hot take, because Widespread Ruin is still a really, really strong card. Widespread Ruin will still destroy one of your opponent's monsters. Widespread Ruin is still a really, really good card. I think that as long as Magnum Overlord and, to a lesser extent, Royal Rebels are super prevalent in the meta, Negate Attack will be good. Or will be better than Widespread Ruin. And there is an argument as well to Dragius, because this is now the only way to stop like big multi-attacks against you from like being able to clear through. Or it's like the best way, I should say. It's not really the only way. But it's a very, very good way to do so. I think this card is going to eclipse and replace Widespread Ruin for the most part, at least for the short term. Maybe when we get some more cards coming out in the future, that'll change. But Negate Attack, I think, is going to be really, really good. Flashbacks from GX era, everybody playing Negate Attack. Negate Attack is going to be better because it works on maximums. Yeah, I mean, that's my logic, right? I think you don't... So Yggdrago doesn't matter as much. Like, Yggdrago can still just kind of kill you. And it does kind of suck when that happens. It can be this big problematic card and just get the extra turn to deal with it. But primarily, this is going to be the Magnum Overlord killer, right? That's what we want. The issue with that is Magnum Overlord can also play this card. Now, that's not going to be too much of a big deal, because it's... If your opponent uses Negate Attack on your Magnum Overlord, they can then start playing the defensive game, and then you have to be running the spell cards to deal with it, which means you need to like draw into them, you need to have not used them all, you need to have not milled them all through your various effects. So it can get a little bit awkward in that. But this still does, in a way, help out Overlord, because they can stall longer until they get to their Overlord turn. And if they do start playing a lot of back row hate, which they might start doing, just because now we have Slime... Well, Slime doesn't work against them. Now we have Call of the Earthbound, we have Majesty, and we have Negate Attack. They might just be like, okay, this is the straw that's broke the camel's back. I'm running like 3 to 6 back row hate just to get my OTK through. So maybe something happens with that, they do start like changing their deck build. 200 more gems, and I'm gonna change those Torii sleeves you have. Yeah? I mean, Grand put those on. The other card is Forever Freeze. Forever Freeze is... It's good, right? It is good. This is a good card. I don't think I would play it right now. I think this is a card that historically is a side deck card. And that is because it is very situational. If the situation arises when it's good, it's really, really, really good. If that situation isn't coming up, this card is really, really bad. As is, I can think of 3 decks in the meta right now that do not care about this card. So just with that alone, you just wouldn't use it, right? So Torrential Tribute is in a game where you could summon out your ass. Seems quite interesting. The thing with Torrential Tribute is knowing when to use it. Like, do you wait until your opponent uses the last card in their hand? But that last card in their hand, they might not summon. They might set it, it might be a tribute monster, it might be a spell trap. So it becomes a game of, when do I stop them from summoning monsters, right? I think you will use more Galaxy Eyes things. Yeah, I mean, if you want to force it on, that's your prerogative. But yeah, Forever Freeze, still a good card. I don't think it's going to be super good on release. That's kind of how I feel. It feels a little bit like that other new track card we got. I've already forgotten what it's called. You know the one. If you attack with like 2 7s, you can pop one of the 7s. It feels a little bit like that, where in the right situation, it's crazy. If that situation isn't coming up, it doesn't really do anything. And then we have our skills, and the skills are a bit weird. I'll come back to the skills a little bit later, but I was reading through some of these skills and like the requirements on them, and some of them are a bit weird. Like the Blue Eyes Rain, having to have 7 or more level 5 or higher monsters is really weird. Like they're really pushing that you should use Righteous Dragon in there, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's a bit awkward. Alright, so now let's talk about the new box. Let's talk about everyone's favourite dragon, the Steel Strike Dragon Metageas. Metageas is really cool. It's a really strong boss monster. 2500 attack is good, right? 2500 is... I think there's one non-legend monster that has more than 2500 attack. So, you know, that's cool. You can send a level 7 or higher dragon from your hand to the graveyard. And now this is a requirement that you're going to see on a lot of the rest of the Geas dragons. So get used to that. This turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's trap card effects. Also, it can make a second attack on a monster during the battle phase in which it attacked a monster, which is pretty good. Oh, we've moved over already. Which is pretty good because we can crash into other 25s even if we don't have the skill on, right? Which does make this guy 26. So that is something because it can't be killed by battle, so that is something it can still do. As well as it doesn't have to kill the monster like Dragius does to get the second attack. It just needs to have declared the attack. So if it does get stopped, you can still make a second attack, which is pretty cool. With the Blue Eyes skill restriction, you can play Torna if needed. You can, but it's a bit weird, right? Because we would... So we have to already be playing 7 of these high levels. Chances are we're going to be running Blue Eyes and 3 copies of Blue Eyes Bright. So that now means we have to play 3 extra cards, which just in general is going to make things a little bit bricky. Now we do have some cards to help alleviate that, right? We do have Kyberman, right, who does just cheat out. But yes, that is a Dino Maximum. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's still awkward, right? So all the monsters with 1700 or more attack in your deck have to be level 8 lights. So again, Torna does sneak in under that. That might be the way to play this, you know. Now that you said that, Griffin, it does make a lot of sense. Torna is how you beat set 3 pass. The only negative is that Torna's kind of a bit naked, right? You can't... Like, the other decks that use Torna, obviously one of them can boost it by 2400 attack, which is quite nice. The other one can weaken your opponent's monster's attack by 800 and also cheat it out. Cheat it out, quote unquote. So it will be just kind of a vanilla Torna, not vanilla. It'll be like a bare Torna, like just Torna on its own, right? It's not going to have any secret abilities built in via a skill. But it does make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. I think Torna is going to be the way to play that then. The question is then just going to be how bricky is it going to feel. But yeah, Steel Strike Dragon Metageas. It's okay. I think you'd probably want to pick them up anyway, just because in the future we will be getting the Sturdy Strike Dragon Metageas Star F, which is a lot better than Metageas because it's got 3000 attack for a start. Second, its requirement is only that we send the top card of a deck to the graveyard, so we don't have to discard level 7. And its multi-choice effect is so good. All face-up monsters on your field gain 500 attack to the end of this turn, and he can make 2 attacks on monsters. Or, all face-up monsters on your field can't be destroyed by battle or your opponent's trap card effects. That's all monsters on your field until the end of the turn, and this card can still attack twice. It's so good. Making your whole board protected from battle traps is so strong. And if your opponent doesn't have any back row, you just boost by 500, which is also really good. It's a tomato. Hello, Alice in Borderland. Welcome on in. We're just talking about the box that we've had announced at this point. It was leaked and now it's announced. Obviously, Steel Strike Dragon Metageas is in Limit 3. It's expected, right? We can't have a deck walking around that can have 6 boss monsters that can attack twice, right? Now, obviously, there's limitations and they attack twice differently. But it's still attacking twice. Even if you can't get that direct attack in with the boss monster itself, you can still get direct attacking with something else, which is still pretty good. So it makes sense that this card would be limit 3. And another one that makes sense to be limit 3 is Mirror Innovator, and that's because imagine playing 3 Dragius, 3 Innovator, and then just a pile of machines. You would then pierce over your opponent for a ton of damage, and then get a direct attack in with Dragius after piercing through them for a ton of damage. So it very much makes sense why we have this, right? Like, it has to be limit 3. But again, this card probably doesn't need any introduction at this point. It's so good. Being able to boost its attack and get piercing is insane. Being able to boost its attack to ridiculous numbers is really, really good. Being able to recycle monsters back into your deck is super, super, super good. Wait, Jump Check is limit 1. Psychics just can't have anything, I guess. Yes, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it is so, so weird that they're doing that. I really don't understand. All right. I don't know where Mirror Innovate is going to fall. I think it's going to be good. I think, though, I would really like to see a skill for it. And I think that's where Konami's dropping the ball a little bit. We don't have a Dino skill, even though we're getting a load of dinosaur support, and we don't have a Mirror Innovator skill. It just feels like you just give us something, Konami, just something, you know. But I guess we'll talk about Dynamics. Dynamics is a interesting card. It's a little bit weak, to be honest. I know a lot of people are really excited for this, and I really like it. It's just not very good. So the reason I don't like this card, or the reason I don't think this card is good, is because it doesn't beat set 3 pass. It's quite simple. If you have 1 attack each turn, and that 1 attack cannot inflict damage to your opponent's life points, what are you doing? Like, how do you win the game? So you can use Dinosaur Crush to kind of be the extra get rid of a card, or you could play things like Block, Stop Defense, or Pierce. But then again, you're in this weird position where you're now relying on these spell cards to like do anything. And you need them like every turn, otherwise you just can't play the game. It's very, very awkward. But using this, we can destroy 2 monsters on our opponent's field at the cost of a discard. So that's okay. Also, you can't do that if your opponent has level 9 or higher monsters. So you can't even out enemy maximums, which is a little bit awkward. You can't even out enemy fusions a lot of the time, because a lot of the fusions are level 9, so it won't even have any like longevity, unfortunately. Do you play Lord Mirror over Ace Breaker in machines? So Mirror Innovator is the best machine card ever printed. This card still sees play to this day. Ace Breaker is a card that fell off very, very quickly after it came out. Being able to pierce through your opponent is so insanely strong in Rush. As well as you can boost its attack to ridiculous numbers and just attack over a maximum. And it recycles cards back into your deck. So if you have a second copy of Mirror Innovator you shuffle back in, you've now effectively made a loop where you can just keep getting your Mirror Innovator back. And if you're worried about running out of tribute fodder, well, you can just shuffle in 2 low-level machines as well. And then they'll be back in your deck, ready to be tributed. Like, it's so good. It's so, so good. I feel like you drop this guy when your opponent has 2 monsters and you hit them for 3,400 to the face. The thing is, like, yes, that would be a good time to use it, but like, how often is that going to come up? That's my question, right? Like, why play Dino Crush? Just play Hammer Crush Deal and Tribute to the Doomed. So Manakist, what you're saying is you could just play Dynamix and then your 1 copy of Tribute to the Doomed and then get 1 attack in for like 3,400, assuming your opponent doesn't have a negate attack. And then your opponent sets 3 passes for the rest of the game. How do we win the game now? Like, it's awkward. At the end of the day, it shouldn't be too hard to just set 3 pass every turn until you draw into like a TSA and then just clear out the Dynamix. Like, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I think Dynamix will cheese wins out of people that don't run level 8 monsters and don't run maximums and aren't on their own, you know, Tribute to the Doomed. I think that is how Dynamix wins, is it cheeses your opponent not having a deck built to deal with it, right? Yeah, but Tribute to the Doomed isn't dead if I don't draw a high level. Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think Dinosaur Crush is a good card. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if you want to make Dynamix work, and you want it to work consistently, you need something. You need either Dinosaur Crush, or Pierce, or Stop Defense. I don't think a single copy of Tribute to the Doomed does enough because that only helps you for one turn, right? You need something to do on the other turns. I feel like Dynamix is better being played with the SR spell in this box that you can set with the skill than Hammer Crush Deal. Set with the... What, do you talk about this one? The Mighty Gaze of the Sky Emperor? Send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, change the battle position of one monster on your opponent's field, attack position becomes defense, defense becomes attack. Then if you have a face at level 10 on the field, you can draw a card. Now. How does this work? Is this once per duel? That's not once per duel. That is not once per duel. I think Griffin's cooking. I think Griffin is cooking. I think this is way better than Hammer Crush. Because this isn't once per duel, we can do this every turn. That is really good. I think that is it. Griffin has found it. I wrote this off because in my mind I was like, oh, you know, this is support for Yggdrago. Yggdrago doesn't need this card. But Dynamix does need it. What's the skill requirements? You have a face-up level 10 maximum monster on your field. That is it. That is the entire requirement. That is the way to play this. That is it. We have found it. Get Mighty Gaze of the Sky Emperor. I think nobody thought this skill was going to do anything. I think this is the best way to play Dynamix. I think that is it. I think Griffin is one of the rare people in this world that plays Yu-Gi-Oh! That can read. Right? That is a skill that should not be underrated. Do we have to run the spell? What, Mighty Gaze of the Sky Emperor? Yes. You get it from your deck or graveyard. But you only have to run one. Right? You only have to play one copy. So it becomes a Garnet in your deck. And then we just keep reusing it again and again and again. Because this is what the deck needs. This is consistent. Every turn, I can get damage in. That is exactly what this deck needed, and that is exactly what this card gives us. They're a TCG player who can read? Exactly. Exactly. Now, we have a way to play the card now. But is it enough to be good, is the next question. Because Dynamix still loses to every maximum. It still loses to TSA and any level 8 monster. It loses to Tribute to the Doomed, but I don't know if Tribute to the Doomed is something to see an uptick in play. It's still seeing some play right now. I don't want to say like people aren't playing it at all. But right now I'd say the other two are a little bit more popular. Show some more respect to us illiterate players. No. It doesn't mean it's going to be good, but it's still something. Yes, I think if you want to try and make this playable, that is what you do. You do play the Mighty Gaze of the Sky Emperor. I think that is how you do it. You never know, because if level 8 monsters aren't prevalent... Like, right, so Blue Eyes is a deck, right? Blue Eyes is going to be a thing. And Blue Eyes is a level 8 deck. And people are going to try and play the crap out of Blue Eyes and try and make it really, really strong. So there is that. If Blue Eyes doesn't... No, there's never going to be a world in which Blue Eyes doesn't become a very popular deck, is there? There's just no world. So I think because of that, this card is going to have a lot of outs in the meta and on ladder, and even in tournaments. But if Blue Eyes, almost Blue Eyes exactly, wasn't popular, I think this could actually run rampant, you know? Because people are basically now forced to play level 8s to just deal with this. You aren't locked into or out of anything with the skill either. Exactly, exactly. You can put whatever you want in your deck. The only thing you're going to have is a limit 3 Dynamix, so you can't play other limit 3s, that's it. I'm really interested to see what we can build with that then. That could be really cool. Because I was super down on Dynamix, but now I'm like, I want to play Dynamix. Alright, we'll go on to the next card. We'll go on to Canry-D. So we can return one face-up monster with 500 or less attack from your field to the hand. This turn, while this card is face-up, you cannot tribute summon monsters with 1500 or more defense in attack position. So this restriction is on here so that you can't just use Canry-D again and again and again. There are ways to get around this restriction, but they're not really worth it. And Canry-D itself is also not even the best loop card. There's another Can card. Let's see if we can find it quick. Eh. Nope. That one. Nope. Wait. That one. There we go. This one. Can Melody is generally the better, like, loop card. Okay, all of that text is on the screen, so I don't have to scroll anything. So this card, which hopefully we'll get in the future, return one other face-up level 5 or higher monster on your field to the hand. Shuffle one face-down card in your opponent's field into the deck. Then if your life points lower than your opponent's, you can add one level 1 psychic type more monster from your go to your hand. So, now, I don't know if people have already spotted the loop, but if you just get 2 of this card down, you just keep popping them back in your hand, get rid of one of your opponent's face-down cards. Get it out, get rid of one of your opponent's face-down cards. And then you just keep also getting bodies back to tribute. So it's not like an infinite loop, but it is something you can loop multiple times during a turn and get rid of a ton of your opponent's like set cards, which is so good. It's so good, right? This is like the good loop card. This is the balanced loop card that doesn't actually end up doing a ton. Like, I would like this card to be better than it is, but basically it just reads one of your level 500 less attack monsters, you get to use their effect twice. That's kind of it. Which is still okay. Like, there are obviously some monsters we can use this with. Roman Pick, Future Diviner, Speedy Performer. There are, like, some monsters you can use with it, but I don't know. It's not great. Like, the best thing about this card is its stat line. Being able to return the monster use effect again is still good. I don't want to, like, undersell it. Is it good enough, is the question. I don't think it is. I'm happy to test this, and I'd be really happy if I'm wrong. But I'm not expecting much out of Canry-D, to be honest. And then there's its skill as well. Let's take a look at its skill quick. Because again, I don't like this skill very much. I much prefer the other one. This skill can only be used if all of the monsters in your deck are psychic-type monsters, and the deck contains one or less level 7 or higher non-light psychic or non-light attribute monster. So probably going to be like God, what is it even called? What is it called? Why is my brain turning to mush as I speak? The 2500 0 defense one. Esperard. Esperard, that's the one. Requirement, shuffle one card from your hand into the deck. Then you can show your opponent one level 7 light attribute monster in your hand, or a face-up Canry-D on your field. Add a level 1 or 4 light attribute monster with 100 or less defense from your graveyard to your hand. You can only take an effect monster once per duel. So, every turn, if we have the Canry-D, we can get rid of a card from our hand to, like, guarantee we get a low-level monster to tribute, I guess. And once per duel, we can spend a card from our hand once again to get an effect monster that actually can use its effect and is quite good, right? So it's like, I would rather this just plussed us and didn't have this shuffle. If it didn't have the word, you know, shuffle one card from your hand to the deck, I'd think this is pretty good. You have to set the spell with the Sky Emperor skill, so if it doesn't leave the field, you can keep doing the skill. Yes, you do have to set it. You do have to set it. But also, why would you... So if it doesn't leave the field, you can't keep doing the skill. Why would you want to keep doing the skill? The skill doesn't do anything if you... Like, you're not drawing a card. So, like, why would you... I think I'm being dumb, right, Manicus, when I say this. I'm not trying to, like, put the spotlight on you, but I'm... Like, all you do is set this card. Like, you're not, like, getting a draw or anything. So, if it's on the field already, you wouldn't need to set it, right? But yeah. Canry-D. Canry-D good. Well, Canry-D okay. I think that's where I'm going to kind of leave that. Then we got Chaos Femtron. Chaos Femtron is pretty cool. I mean, next turn, so if I set it, in the next turn, I don't have access to the skill. If I set it next turn, I mean, is it required to set the spell to use the skill? Yes. If you don't have a Mighty Gaze of the Sky Emperor in your deck or your graveyard, you can't use the skill. But at the same time, why would you want to use the skill if you already have your Gaze of the Sky Emperor? That's my question. Because like the skill doesn't do anything other than set it. So if you already have it, you don't need it. If you're asking if you have to create it, like from nothing, no, you has to be in your deck or your graveyard, right? Next turn, if I set it, then the next turn I don't have access to the skill. I mean, is it required to set the spell to use the skill? Yes. I'm not really sure, like, where we're going with that, but yes. Chaos Femtron is cool. I don't think, again, this card is going to fix the problems that Cybers has, right? That being, the deck still doesn't really deal with set 3 pass particularly well. The deck still has very low defense points. The deck doesn't really have any good spell traps that are unique to Cyberse monsters. Their boss monsters are okay, but they don't do enough, and they get beaten over quite easily by Shield and Sword, Sword and Shield, by changing them to defense, just attacking over them. They don't have any real defensive options, and their aggressive options are very limited. But Chaos Femtron is quite a nice card to go with it. Sorry, just trying to theorycraft at work, Lamel. I mean, yeah, if you're focusing on work, that is completely understandable. Have you ever tried a Pokemon Nuzlocke? Yes, I've done several Pokemon Nuzlockes. I really like them. I only do hardcore Nuzlockes, though, because I think Pokemon in general is quite an easy game. And I think if I myself, I know enough about... I'm not a Pokemon expert. I don't want to pretend I am. I'm not. But I know enough about them that if I'm not doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, which means, like, setting level caps for the gyms and stuff, then I find it too easy and I don't enjoy it. But yeah, Femtron is good. Only gets 0 defense monsters. That's a little bit disappointing. Can only get back one of the 3 cards sent. That's about it. Other than that, this card's fine. Ultimate Flag Beast Surge Bicon. Really, really strong card. Really, really strong card. Shuffle 3 machine monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This turn, this face-up card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a like attribute machine type monster in attack position. Which means it's basically how we get out our Steel Mech-Lord Mirror Innovator with less tributes. Very, very good. I wanted to try a Soul Link. That's 2 players Nuzlocke. Maybe. So I've done a Soul Link before. It's actually kind of a pain. Soul Links are a little bit annoying because you kind of have to like run into a lot of scheduling issues where you have to kind of be playing at the same time in order to link the Pokemon together. I can tell you I am personally not interested in doing a Soul Link anytime soon. But Surge Bicorn, the only real negative to this card is that we have to shuffle 3 machines back, and we want to keep our machines in the graveyard to be used with Mirror Innovator's effect, and so we have to kind of make sure we have enough machines in the graveyard to use both of those effects. It can get a little bit awkward. Tribute Lock is a weird one. I don't hate this card, but I don't know if we'd be able to find room for it in a lot of decks. When your opponent normal summons a level 5 or higher monster while your life points are lower than your opponent's, change that monster to face-up defense position. So, being able to change monster to defense position is really good, right? I just want to start off with that. Only being able to use it when you're behind means a lot of the time this card's going to feel a bit awkward to use. And because it only works on normal summons, there are a lot of decks that can play around this. Now, even the decks that do play around it aren't going to play around it all the time. Like, Magnum Overlord can just never normal summon. But chances are they will still normal summon at some point a level 5 or higher monster. They just probably will. Now, they don't have to, but they generally do. So, I'm not going to say this card is, like, bad. I think this card's actually pretty cool. I don't know if I'd be able to find room for it in my decks. That is my only concern with it. That's okay. By the way, will you stream a Nuzlocke anytime soon? So, probably not. I mean, the stream is basically just for Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. That's kind of what we do with it. I'm not really a Pokemon guy, so I don't think most people would actually want to watch it. I'm sure there'd be like a handful of people. But I think the majority of people would only kind of watch for the Duel Links content. So we're probably just going to stick that on the stream. And then there's Stockbuster. Stockbuster is so mid. This card's effect is almost never active. If it works, it reads insane, right? Oh man, weaken your opponent's entire board by 1500? That's crazy. It almost never comes up. Your opponent has 5 or more cards on their field. You can send 1 card per hand to the graveyard. All face up level 7 or lower monsters on your opponent's field lose 1500 attack. Again, 7 or lower is a really, really, really shitty line on this card because you really want to say 8 or lower at the very least. As well as it only affects, obviously, face up monsters. So if your opponent doesn't have all their monsters face up, the value of this card goes down and down and down. Your opponent has to have 5 cards, so you have to rely on your opponent having mostly a full board. It's just not going to come up most of the time. I got it in that case. Just give me a Pokemon game for my first Nuzlocke. So I recommend for your first Nuzlocke, because this was my favorite Nuzlocke, was Pokemon Platinum. I did not like... Held up, is that a dragon? It is a dragon. I think, yeah, it's just a level 7 dragon for the skill to work. Exactly what Griffin just said. This is fodder for the skill and nothing else. You almost never want to be summoning this. But yeah, I think that I went into Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I really didn't like them. I thought they were really mid. I didn't like them at all. Platinum fixed all the problems I had with them. So Platinum, I think, is the way to go. Because it hands on the back. Because it has hands on the back. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. Cyrus and Cynthia will be Nuzlocke killers in that game. Yeah, but it's really fun when you overcome it. That's the thing. They're a really cool challenge, and when you beat it, you feel really good for doing so. But yeah, Griffin is exactly right. This is just something that we throw away for the man, the myth, the legend, the Metageas. That is it. That is all he is here for. Dockbuster, what is your purpose? You get sacrificed for Metageas. And then we got Jamp Up. Jamp Up is okay. It's not great. It's okay. We can send a face-up psychic monster from your field to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 7 psychic monster from your hand face up. If you sent Candy to the graveyard to meet the requirement, the monster gains 1500 attack. So this is very similar to a lot of the other cards we're kind of getting. Like the 7 shift is similar to that in a lot of ways, where the main use of this card is that we kind of want to set it the turn prior and then use it on a later turn to act as like an extra tribute body effectively. And if we do get a Candy off of it, we can then gain 1500, which can help us to like create an OTK turn. It's okay. It's not bad. I don't know if I would run this. I'd have to actually sit here and start building a Psychic deck and see what the spell trap lineup looks like before I decide if I would include this or not. My gut says we probably have too many other good spell cards to use, so we probably wouldn't use this, but maybe. Maybe. Oi! Hello, King John. Welcome on in. How about a Pokemon Black and White Nuzlocke, or maybe Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? I mean, if you want to play one, go for it. I'm in the game right now. Well, that good job, Daisy. Good job. Next up, we have Magical Miracle. This card's actually really good. If you have a face-up monster with 100 attack and 100 defense on your field, send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard. Now, the only negative, really, is we kind of have to have a Candy to make this work. If we don't have Candy, it doesn't really do anything, but it's still good, right? We can summon a level 7 Psychic monster from your graveyard in face-up attack position, which a lot of the time is probably going to be either your Canry D or your Prima Katana. So it's pretty good. Just 1-for-1 value-wise, it's pretty good. Because we can just, sack it off, get a monster back. We've basically 1-for-1'd, whereas to get out a tribute monster, typically it's normal summon, tribute for the tribute. So it's 3 to get out 1 body, effectively. It took 3 cards. Whereas Magical Miracle is 1 body to get out 1 body, which is really, really good value-wise. I see Magical Miracle as a evolution of Candy, kind of like how Famtron evolves from Atron and evolves to Peacock Pictotron. I mean, kind of. I see what you mean. I guess they kind of have similar hair. I kind of think it's like the Canry-D. Because if you look, these cards are the same, right? These cards are the same character, right? Like they have the same hair color, the same hairstyle, the same colored eyes, the same facial expression. Like Candy is just Canry-D, right? Or Ready, so I think is what a lot of people call it. The thing is, I really like Mudkip and Oshawott. Charmander, Trico, Chimchar, and Froakie are also my favorites of all time. Now, my number 1 starter is my boy Tepig, right? And I know that's a really unpopular opinion, but I love Tepig so much. Miracle looks like Serene Psychic Witch old... Yeah, it does, actually, now that you say that. That's a good shout. Zeptron is an evolution of... Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that, right? Next up, we'll talk about Avian Spell Strategy, right? Avian Spell Strategy is pretty good. The question is going to be, would you play this over Galaxy Cyclone in the Harpy deck? So, Galaxy Cyclone has added synergy in Harpies because Harpies can empty their graveyard quite quickly. They have the middle maximum piece that shuffles back 2 monsters, and obviously everyone's playing TSA, so you can empty the graveyard with that. So getting an extra draw after you pop one of your opponent's back row is pretty good. But Avian Spell Strategy can stack monsters to the top of your deck, which is pretty good because if we can stack a maximum piece to the top, either we just have access to that piece for the next turn to just have as a body, we could get back the one that protects itself from traps, or we could get back the one that shuffles cards back and gains attack, which are both fine, or we just get back the last piece we need to summon the maximum, which is pretty cool. This is Rush. We don't have Galaxy Cyclone. Oh, Ghost Cyclone. That's the one. The Cyclone is fine. I'm going to try Pokemon Sapphire, I guess. My only answer on the question why Sapphire... My only answer on question why Sapphire is Mudkip. Ah, okay. I mean, Mudkip's cool. Who doesn't love Mudkip? Harpy's being able to put a tribute back on top seems nice. It is, but is it nicer than getting a draw? That's the question. Number Hunter, if you're looking for an interesting Pokemon game, ROM hack, try Dragon Ball Team Training. Oof. Going for the Dragon Ball stuff now. So speaking of like ROM hacky stuff, I've actually been really into Pokerogue lately. I don't know if people have heard of that. Let's have a look. Pokerogue. This thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be signed in because this isn't my main browser. Also, there might be some volume in a sec, but I've been playing a ton of this, which is really, really cool. It's basically a Pokemon roguelike, and I've been playing so much of it, and I've been enjoying it so much. But we're not here to talk about Pokemon. But yeah, if anyone ever gets bored and wants to play something that's like infinite rogue, well, it's kind of, there's an infinite mode, but yeah, Pokemon roguelike, Pokerogue is a really good one, and it's entirely in browser. You just have to make an account. I've heard of it. Swampert has busted dual typing, like you can only do super effective if you have a grass type, but it is 4 times weak to grass. The DB ROM hack is so awkward because everything you're fighting for a start type. I feel that Spell Ghost Cyclone works depends on how well your board is getting cleared after your opponent's turn. Yes, I think there are merits to both. It's going to be like which one are people going to use overall. That's kind of like where are people going to land? Are you going to go for like a mix of the two? Like we could see either. And I think the dedicated Harpy players are going to like really toolbox with it and really work it out. I've never been much of a Harpy player myself. Like I play the deck and I would like to test out both, but I don't know which one is just going to land as being the best one overall. Okay, question in the larger game of Russia is there like a seed that evolves into Dark Femtron? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there isn't, but I'm not going to say there definitely isn't. They do get more dark Cyberse monsters in the future. And like the Space Drago stuff comes out, and there are some weird looking cards in there, but I don't think so. Also, is Dragon Ball Pokemon it's silly as fuck? I mean, yeah, that's gonna be. Say again, what's the game that Pokemon you just showed up, or maybe put it in the chat. So this is Pokerogue. I'll chuck it in chat if people want it. There you go, Pokerogue. That's the one. I've been playing it quite a bit. It gets updated quite frequently. It's very fun. If you want to give it a go, give it a go. Anyway, Might Gaze the Sky Emperor is a terrible card. It's bad, but we've just discovered it works quite well with Dynamic Dino Dynamics, specifically because of the skill. So, you know, it's not bad in that regard. There is also maybe a world in which you use this with the skill and play it with Magnum Overlord. I don't think it's going to be as good because Magnum Overlord, obviously you have the stacking part and you can play Magnum Overlord just as spellcaster beatdown, effectively. But there is maybe something there. We'll have to test it at some point. Wait, I'm seeing Fusion of Dark and Normal Fentron. Yeah, there's lots of fusions for the old Cyberse. And then there's Iceark, which is also getting cut off a little bit, but that's fine. There's not really much interesting text on this card. I don't think Iceark's going to be particularly good. With the skill, you can do like a fancy little play with it, but I really don't think this is going to go anywhere. I think Gavin is just getting another bad skill, and I think we're just going to have to accept that, really. No, it's an effect card, but it's literally the two cards smashed together in the UR part. It's in the UR part. Oh, you're talking about Chaos Femtron? Yeah, it's because it's Chaos, Light and Dark. I suck. Do you suck? They call me humongous? I don't think anyone said that. Are you talking about Iceark? Ah, right, yeah, because Iceark sounds like I suck. On the same page now. On the same page now. I think there's going to be some cute little like rogue deck you can make with this, but I don't think it's going to be particularly good. I get that now. Kind of sucks. I just got Atrashoot Hydron, so I'm going to have to pull on this now to complete the deck. I mean, you can do. It'll make. I think this card will definitely make Cyburst stronger, but it's like, do you want to play Cyburst? That's what it comes down to. If you don't like Cyburst, there's no point in going for this. And then Candy's Candy. It's funny that it's an SR. And then we get to the elephant in the room. Jamp Check. What is going on, Konami? Why have we set Jamp Check to limit 1? What were we thinking? If you have 2 or more face-up Psychic-type monsters on your field, including a normal monster, look at up to 2 face-down spell traps on your opponent's field and destroy one. Wow! It lets you MST a back row. That's crazy. And you get to look at another one, which is actually pretty good. Then if you have a Candy face-up on the field, which you probably won't, but you might, you can gain 1,000 life points. Wow! That's insane. Gaining life points? That's nutty. Yeah, we better slap limit 1 on this so people can't pop back row. I do not. But my only thought is they think people will play psychic packages in other decks and jam this card in it. Now, to be fair, that is exactly what people did in the TCG. They played Jamp Check in non-psychic decks. But. In that, we had Roman pick at 3, which meant we had decent bodies to put in to our little psychic package that we're putting in other decks. As well as we had 40-card decks, which meant we had a lot more room to put this psychic package into. I don't think people would start trying to jam this at 3 in non-psychic decks, personally. But maybe I'm just wrong. Who knows? Psychic Bros can stop with the cope now. I mean, we'll see. There's a whole lot of copium. This box looks kind of mid compared to previous boxes. It depends, right? People said that they thought the noodle box was going to be bad, and then ended up being really, really strong. I think Innovator is insane. If you ever want to play machines in the future, you either wait for a reprint of this card, or you're opening this box to get it. One of those two things is happening. Innovator is always, 100% of the time, going to be relevant in every machine deck that ever comes out. Machine Fusion, this card becomes really good. Cyber Dragon, this card becomes really good. In Jinzo, which gets its own archetype later, again, really, really good. As long as machines are good, Mirror Innovator is good. That is just how it works. I just entered Pokerogue. Pick a starter for me. So you choose 3 starters in Pokerogue. Just so we're clear, as you unlock stuff. So you'll have access to the starters from every gen. You just need to navigate the menu. It's a little bit unintuitive, but once you work it out, you'll work it out. So you can just have any 3 starters from any of the gens. Type Change Beam right there for the anime combo. Type Change Beam is so weird. The Water type from Generation 7. I think Dragons can deal with Maximum. So now Dragons are a deck again. I mean, Dragons have always been able to deal with Maximum. They just needed TSA, right? As soon as TSA came out, everyone could deal with Maximums. Limit 3 on it's kind of iffy. I mean, it has to be Limit 3, right? Otherwise, you just play it with Dragius. It is the Dragius tax. That is why cards are Limit 3, because we don't want you playing them with Dragius. Or, I guess we don't want the Maximums playing with each other. Because Konami would hate for people to build Maximum decks, again, like they do in the physical game. If they limit 3 other machines. The thing is, right now, I don't think that Ace Breaker needs to be limit 3. I really don't think that card needs to be limit 3. I think that card could come off of limit 3 and be fine. Going forward, will they put other machines on limit 3? Maybe. But I don't even think it matters that much. If they limit Cyber Dragon to limit 3, it's not even the end of the world, because that deck can still just make a Cyber Twin. And having multi-attack is, as we know, is all you need to be able to get to your opponent's life points. And we'll have Cyber End, which is a piercer, right? So again, they got multiple ways. Mirror Innovator is like icing on the cake in those decks. Jinzo, on the other hand, really needs Mirror Innovator. So if they limit the Jinzo boss monsters when they do eventually come out, then that becomes a problem, because Mirror Innovator is desperately needed for the Jinzo deck, unless they give them a really good skill. The requirement for Dynamax, they have to have a face-up level lower than 9, or just no level 9 or higher face-up. Is the requirement for the Dynamax, they have to have a face-up level lower than 9. So if your opponent has no face-up level 9 or higher monsters on the field, so they just have to not have a 9 or a 10, and then we're good to go. If they have all set, we're fine. Did we miss the talk about psychics? Oh, the talk about psychics never ends, Grant. We will be coming back to it. We haven't finished all the psychic cards yet. If it wasn't limit 3, everyone would use it to out maximum monsters. I don't think you would use it to out maximums, because you still have to play it in a dedicated machine strategy in order for it to work, right? Like, you still have to send back machines. So, it's still only really going to work in a machine deck. Tomato wants you to pick a starter. Tomato does. Tomato, give me one starter. Pop player, give me a second. I would say go with Quaxley. I think Quaxley's a really good one. I mean Acebreaker. Yes. Yes. Acebreaker is... I don't know, would people heavily invest into Acebreaker? Because a lot of decks have kind of a... I guess aggro would, right? Probably. Aggro would... It's Dragius again. Dragius is the one that would use Acebreaker. That's the problem. I think a lot of other decks have like a nice smooth curve of how they want to play their game and like use their skill. But Dragius would just be like, mate, I've just got Hammer Crush Deal. I don't give a shit. Just give me the Acebreaker. I'll deal with their maximums. I think Ultimate Flag isn't... weird to say, I think Ultimate Flag is an archetype. It kind of is an archetype. Like, it kind of is, if you kind of squint at it. But yeah, Jump Check, I understand why they've done it. They are scared of people putting Psychics in other decks. That is why they keep limiting everything in Psychic, because traditionally in the game, people keep using Psychic packages and putting them in non-Psychic decks. And that is what Konami doesn't want. I get it, it still sucks. And the main offender is Thunderbolt, right? This guy is the main reason that Psychic is getting dicked as hard as they are right now. This guy, on his own, twisted the meta, and to this day, is still kind of a playable deck by just putting in a bunch of Psychic cards. Thunderbolt is the reason Psychic players can't have nice things. I stand by that. Thunderbolt is such a weird card, and it basically says, we don't have to play an archetype. We just need to play level 7 monsters the deck, and then we're good to go. That's all it is. And because of that, basically just being good stuff pile, you can now, in just good stuff pile, you just put in a load of Psychic stuff and it'll be fine. So, if you want to know why Psychic's getting shafted so hard, a big part of that is just Thunderbolt. I remember how I mentioned we were going to get Link Boss Monster, and I was theorizing it would be Access Code Talker for the World Championship. Well, I was wrong about the monster, but we did get revealed that we are getting Dark Fluid. Well, we're getting the other boss monster as well, right? As like an what's he called? Decode Talker. We're getting a Decode Talker, which is quite nice. Why Psychics am I missing something? So, basically, Psychic is like the nicest splashable engine. So we can use Roman Pick, which, you know, everyone knows Roman Pick. If we can spell it. Roman Pick? There we go. We can get there in the end. Roman Pick just lets us plus, right? Very easily. If all we have to do is have a life slower than our opponents, then we can just keep doing this. We keep sending cards to the graveyard, which again, Thunderbolt wants to have cards in the graveyard. There are a lot of decks in the game that just want to keep milling and milling and milling. And being able to loop Roman Picks is a really good way to kind of do this. So we just add a Psychic from grave to hand. So the logic is... So I'm trying to think of like what the early Thunderbolt lists were, but Roman Pick was a big part of it, as well as a card we talked about a little bit earlier, which is Can Melody. Can Melody is a loop card, which is return one other face-up level 5 or higher monster from your field to the hand. Ideally, you want to return another copy of itself. Shuffle one face-down card in your opponent's field into the deck. Then, if your life point's lower than your opponent's, you can add one level 1 Psychic-type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. And do you know what? A level 1 Psychic-type normal monster, well, look, there's one there. It's called Candy. So we can use that to get Candy back, which is like a body to be used as tribute for the next one, and then you just keep like looping them around. And the best way to get access to all of these cards is going to be Roman Pick. Roman Pick can just mill Roman Pick. Getting all the stuff in the graveyard means we can just get it back with like various other different types of effects. As well as Jump Check is like the best generic Spacro hate. Because for the longest time, you got to remember, we didn't have Ghost Cyclone. for the longest time. We just did not have that card. So Jamp Check was the best generic back row hate. It was either this or Hammer Crush, right? And people weren't playing Hammer Crush because discarding is cringe. So Jamp Check just became really, really strong. Right? You just look at your opponent's face downs, pop one of them, you get information, you're going to have candy a lot of the time, so you're going to gain that 1,000 life points. It just worked out really, really well. I think that was pretty much it for the package, though. I think it was basically like 2 or 3 candy. It was 2 Melody. It was 3 Roman Pick. It was 2 or 3 Jamp Check. There might have been something else in it. It's been a while since I played it. How is this one better than any of the other ones, though? What, are we talking about? Talking about Melody? Or are we talking about something else? I'm going to have to be more... Especially with the delay. We lose track of the context quite easily. Because if we're talking about Melody, Melody is good because it loops. Anti-backward cuts. Okay. So Jamp Check is better because you can look at 2 of them and pick one, right? That's why it's better. Oh, that was another thing we played. It was... Is it Jamp Start? Was this the one people played? No. Can't have been, right? I'm trying to remember, like... Cause you gotta remember, this is history for me. Like, I haven't played these, with these cards in a long time. Let me see if I can find an old deck that was playing it. I do just have, like, old deck lists just kind of scattered around. Seven's Wonder Fusion Turbo, we don't want that. We want... Take a look at this deck. Not this one. That's no good. I should have a Sevens Wonder Fusion version somewhere. No. The problem is I have so many decks saved that it's kind of all over the place. Dragon Casters, Aqua. Hey, we were just calling it Dragon Casters for a while, weren't we? Pyro, Aqua. You get to avoid hitting a bluff and get to hit a good trap. I mean, that is one of the good ways to look at it. I'm trying to, like, find... I should have a build here somewhere. I'm just not sure where it's going to be. Or maybe it's here. I need to, like, reorganize this at some point. That's what I really need to do. Nope. Not that one. That's a cool list, though. That is a cool list. That's an ancient list. Okay. Sorry if this isn't particularly exciting. I really want to find this now that I've thought about it. Not that one. Oh, there's the music stopping. Problem is I just have so many decks saved. It's just weird as somebody who's only experienced it through this version of Rush, because, like, I don't believe Psychics have ever been even a rogue level deck like they are unplayable deck. That's the thing. In the physical game as well, Psychics have never been a good deck. You play a Psychic package in other decks because the Psychic boss monsters are so mid. That's just how it goes. Like, Wind Psychic was okay at one point, but that's with, like, thingies. That's with equip spells. We can't see Essa with the new Psychic. We can't use Essa with the new Psychic skill. Yeah, it's... I don't know what they're thinking. What's L1? No, that's a cool deck though again. Where? I should have it saved. I should have it saved somewhere. I just don't know where. SS mid-range. There's a starter deck. It's not going to be on any of them. Do I just not have the list anymore? There's no way I got rid of it. Come on, Matt. What you doing? Machine mid-range. This one? Nope. That was a really cool deck, though. Got Gaia. We got Burn. Got loads of Draglass, Dynormal. I might just not have it. Oh, that's really sad if I don't have it anymore. I'd have to, like, go back and, like, watch an old video or something to, like, find it. Because apparently I've just not saved it. For some reason, I don't know why I would have deleted it. Oh, no, here we go. Wonderbolt. There we go. Here's the list. We found it. We found it. Okay. So, I guess I will... What's the best way to do this? I mean, there isn't really a good way to, like, show this off completely. But this is a deck that is basically a Thunderbolt deck. And this is a deck that works while Thunderbolt is only at 1 copy. So, it's pretty weird kind of how it works out. But it is playing a Can Melody, it's playing 2 copies of Progress Potter, and we're playing 3 copies of Romance Pick, and we're playing 2 copies of Rhythmical Performer, which is we can send a top card deck to the graveyard, your opponent sends a top card of their deck to the graveyard, then if they sent a spell or trap card to the graveyard, we can draw 1 card. And we're also playing 2 copies of Howling Bird. And the logic between playing these cards is that we have enough Psychic cards in the list that we can kind of make the plays we want to make. But the idea of this build of the deck, which is a little bit later than the pure Thunderbolt, is it's a 7-1 Diffusion deck. Which means our win con is still just 7's Geas, the Magical Knight, which is just completely bonkers. Yeah, you could see the card. We're hovering over the cards we're talking about. I didn't really want to change the size of it, but I suppose we could do. Not that one. Not that one. Is it this one? No. No. Nope. Nope. None of that. What is over the overlay? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, people play Roman Pick with Progress Potter. They play it with Can Melody. And the goal is basically just to be able to turbo the graveyard. That is the primary goal of this version of the deck. Because we just want to get 7's Rogue Magician and Dragius in the graveyard so we can fuse them together, make this guy, and then kill people. That's the logic. I realised that wasn't the best way to explain it, because I only have this like more modern version of the deck. But basically, Can Melody is kind of the linchpin of this, because you can use it to just get rid of all your opponent's cards and use it to recycle a load of stuff. But basically, triple Romance Pick is just something you can splash in most decks, and it works really, really well. That's kind of the beginning and the end of it. Hello, Sakadetsu. Welcome on in. We were just talking about Psychic monsters and why Jamp Check is limited. Unfortunately, that build as well was not on Jamp Check, because that's a much more modern version of the deck, but it is there. But I guess we'll go back to talking about the actual cards that came out. We'll start with Assault Cannon. Assault Cannon is okay. This card was fine when it came out. It's nothing special. But it is a machine, and that means we will probably play it, as well as it does have a lovely, lovely, lovely little effect, which says, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Guess what? We need cards in our graveyard to use certain effects, such as Surge Bicorn, and such as Mirror Innovator. So there is some use for this card. The Weaken effect is okay, right? It's nothing crazy. It's kind of just like Silverwolf, but it's okay. It's fine. We do have to have 3 machines, which is a little bit restrictive, but it's okay. Psychics have really good milling engine, I guess, but with only 1 Roman Pick, it's not going to be the same. Exactly, Griffin. I think as long as Roman Pick remains at 1, there is no reason for Jamp Check to be at 1. I think that is a overreaction by Konami. I think they went, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to put, if we give them too many Psychic cards, they're going to put Psychics in non-Psychic decks. Stop them now. And everyone else went, I have 1 Roman Pick. Unless they're planning to give us more Roman Pick, and Jamp Check is limit 1 because they know they're going to give us another Roman Pick. Just saying. But I think if you had 3 copies of Roman Pick, we would probably just play 1 copy of Jamp Check anyway. So unless they're going to put other things on limit 1 we don't want to use, what if we get a 7's level increase with World Event? Oh, yes. Yes, Manicus, that's what I'm thinking. That is what we are thinking. But would... The question then becomes, do you give us 2 Roman Pick or 3 Roman Pick? Because, like, Konami keeping us at 1 for the longest amount of time, I could see them just drip feeding us another Roman Pick. I mean, we still only have 2 Toy Vendor. I'm just saying, right? So I don't see us getting a 3rd Roman Pick. Then the next card we have is Crafter Drone. Crafter Drone's pretty cool. Send a machine from your hand to the graveyard, draw a card. Who doesn't love drawing cards? Filtering is always a really, really powerful thing. Every kind of type in the game would really like this type of effect. Not all of them get one. So machines are quite lucky to be one of the few that do get a discard draw. Very, very good. Again, just like Mystic Dealer, people do often misplay this card. They'll slap it down, discard draw, not be able to tribute off, and then just end their turn with a 1000 attack monster on the field. That's quite bad. You don't want to do that. You really want to tribute this off after you've used it. Just hoping you draw into a boss monster is usually not the correct way to play it, but if you get it and it works out, why not, eh? No and Konami 1. They could give us 3 and limit 3 it, but 2 seems more balanced. With Craft the Drone and the skill, Machine's going to be really consistent. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. The only thing is, how many... If you use the current skill we have, Eternal Bond, and you play 3 copies of Mirror Innovator, how many other level 7/8 machines with 2500 attack are we going to play? I think realistically, the maximum we could play is 3. Before it starts becoming a brickfest. It's a weird one. It's an awkward one. It's trying to just work out the ratios. And then at that point, do you even bother playing the other machine skill? Because the other thing I was thinking of, do you cut this down to 2 Mirror Innovator so that you can play a trap card that protects you from Magnum Overlord? Because if you cut this down to 2, you can play 1 Earthbound or you can play 1 Majesty, which does help insulate you from just getting killed by Overlord. Hey, Sakadetsu with the 3 streak. But yeah, Craft Drone, great card. Happy to have it. I would like more of these cards to come out. Anything to help unbrick, anything to help consistency is always going to be really, really welcome. Then there's Dinosaur Crush. We did talk about this card a little bit before. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. It's okay. Being able to pop any monster or any face down monster or face down back row is nice. That is a nice bit of versatility. We're playing with 30 card decks. 2 Mirror Innovator seems fine. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm feeling. Especially since you can, as long as you don't mill the second one, you can always put the first one back into your deck with the second one. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Dinosaur Crush, though, I don't like the discard attached to this card. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I would almost rather dinosaurs just had if you have a dinosaur out, destroy back row. And then just leave it at that. I think that would be better than this a lot of the time. But I didn't notice in the rare and normals, do we have news cyber card? Yeah, so there are some new stuff here, but there's no, like, the only Cyburst card we got new is the Cycliptron, which is just a 1500 defender. It's our first 1500 defender outside of Legend, which is quite nice. It's I think you'd maybe play this in Cyburst just to try and stave off 1500 beaters. But it's okay. It's not bad. But Dinosaur Crush is fine. Yeah, Cycliptron. Everyone loves Cycliptron. I'm not the biggest fan of Dinosaur Crush. I'm not going to immediately write this off, but I don't know. Who knows what Cycliptron is from? I'm not even sure Konami knows. The next card is Mech Therizina Raptor. Send a dinosaur monster from a hand to the graveyard, draw a card. Wait a minute, is that a Crafter Drone? Is that a Mystic Dealer? That's right, dinosaurs get a consistency tool, which is quite nice. We can't use the 1500 with some of the cyber skills because its defense is too high. Well, just don't use the bad skills then, right? Easy. I don't know if I like 1500 defenders. Well then, have I got news for you. If you don't like 1500 defenders... Oh no, they're not in the game yet. They're not in the database. But yeah, we have Magnet Warriors in. So we have a 1600 defender in beta, and we have a 1700 defender. No, there's 1600 defense on beta. No, beta's got 1400, right? We have a 17 and an 18 in alpha and gamma. That's the ones we have. I don't like the fact that this is called a mech, but it's a dinosaur. What do you mean? It's a mechanical dinosaur. Can you see its tail? Let's zoom in here, right? Look at this. That's not natural. Don't know how to tell you this, Grant. That's not what dinosaurs look like. And I also want to point out that we have a card which you were standing this morning. Mammoth Graveyard. This is clearly an undead monster. What does it say? Dinosaur. I'm just saying, right? You can't just champion some fights and just ignore others, right? If you rep Mammoth Graveyard and you accept that he is a dinosaur, then you have to accept that Mechtherizaptor is a mechanical dinosaur. You just have to accept that. Are we forgetting about Nail having two 1500 attackers, Connected Dog and Dark Femtron, and yet Dynamist are mechanical dinosaurs but are machines? Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Here comes Grand. Now, we remember Shield and Sword making them 100. Exactly. Well, there are a lot of decks now do have multiple 1500s. Are we going to pretend like the bones of a dinosaur aren't a dinosaur? I think if they're moving around, then no, that is no longer a dinosaur. I think that is a zombie at that point. That is an undead creature. That's my stance on that anyway. But yeah, we're talking about 1500s. We have just got Hero of the East, which is quite nice. So that's another 1500 for warriors. And it will be a half of a fusion eventually. Unfortunately, our dinosaurs are a bit weak. Only 15s. We already have the Urabi, and I don't believe we ever get another 1500 dinosaur. So, is what it is. But yeah, Mechtherizaptor is a good card. Then, Dynamics L and R. The one nice thing about these boys is their attack points aren't shit. They have 1300 attack for maximum pieces, which is quite good, all things considered. What if the dinosaur bones are sentient, but they are moving because of machinery? So, a psychic force of some description has attached a dinosaur's consciousness to its bones and is now being able to move around entirely because of machinery. Where's my Mega Plunder, Konami? Mate, Mega Plunder is such a modern card that I don't think... Mind you, saying that, we have so many other... We have so many other much more modern cards. So, I'm just talking out my arse, really. Yeah, I could bring this card out. Yeah, just bring it out. Just bring out Ruthless Slash Mega Plunder. I really do like this card as well. I think aesthetically, just dinosaur looks cool. It's not a T-Rex, right? His arms are too big to be a T-Rex. It's just cool. It's just a cool dinosaur. He's a ferocious plunderer that hunts under the cover of the moonlit night. Its razor-sharp claws slice through its enemies. It's got 2000 attack. You mean Mammoth Graveyard, but with machines? Oh. Would it be a machine, an undead, or a dinosaur, though, at that point? It's probably just a dinosaur, right? And then we got Jamp Start. Jamp Start is a weird Jamp card. Place 2 Psychic-type monsters from your graveyard at the bottom of your deck in any order. Add a Psychic-type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then if you added Candy to your hand by its effect, gain 1000 life points. So the way you can kind of look at this is... It's kind of, if you squint, a lot like Jamp Up. You can set this one turn, flip it over the next, and it's now you've turned this spell card into a body that you can use to tribute. So both of these cards kind of do a similar thing, like if you squint at them. So, you know, all in all, not bad, right? Like they're kind of both doing the same-ish thing. I think overall, I think I'd probably rather have Jamp Up. That's probably why it's a super. Give us the Shock Dragon, Dino. Give us the Shock Dragon. Oh, you want the, oh god, what is it called? He's so much better than Shock Dragon, by the way. So much better than Shock Dragon. What is that card called? It's called... It's got Saurus in the name, right? No, I'm thinking of Blade Saurus for the name. What is its name? What is its name? Am I going to have to go look it up quick? Right, monster... Where are the dinosaurs at? Where are my dinosaurs at? Effect monsters. This one. Rage Wrecker Dragon Anger Rogue. Oh, man. Give me this card. I want this card so badly. This card would make dinosaurs go crazy, man. 2500 attack, level 8. Already really good. If you have another face-up dinosaur-type monster on your field, send the top card of it to the graveyard. All face-up monsters with the highest attack on your opponent's field lose attack equal to the defense of the face-up monster with the highest defense on your field. So just this guy on his own gets to weaken your opponent's biggest monster by 1600. If there's a tie, he weakens multiple. On his own, he can out 4000 attack monsters. It is so good. If you get out something with a decent butt, like, I don't know, a Super King Rex that has 2000 defense, you get an extra 400. Extra 400 doesn't really matter too much. But it's just nice that you can get the number up a bit. What I think we're going to get instead of Anger Rogue is we're going to get Sneezing Greedazals, whose original name was Zenigavazals. But this guy is Garbo for the most part. 2400 attack, not what you want. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, place one card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. Send the top 2 cards of each player's deck to the graveyard. Then, if a monster is sent to the graveyard by this effect, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of monsters sent to the graveyard times 400. So it's got an okay burn effect, right? You can burn your opponent for up to 1600, which is not too bad, considering we have 2000 left life points in this game. But I would expect us to get this instead of Anger Rogue, personally. Alright. Anyway, back to the chitty chat. Block attack. This card is here way too late. This card is too late. This card would have been really good at the very, very start. Being able to change something to defense and just attack over it is pretty good. Being able to change something to defense and then pop it with... Now, guys, I know people don't like to talk about these cards very much, but there is a lovely little card that just so happens to have an effect that says it can destroy defense position monsters. And guess what? We have a card now that can force monsters into defense mode. It's still bad. It's still bad. Very unfortunate. A Sneezing Dinosaur, Indiana Jones. Konami gets quite silly sometimes. Exactly. But yeah, this is too late. We even in our leaks, if we're going to take a look at that, we have Siesta Torero. This is block attack on legs. It's just better. There's no reason to play block attack. I think this is just too late. And then we get Righteous Dragon. It's a level 5, which kind of sucks. The main use of this card is to get out a 3rd high-level dragon. So you get out 2 high-level dragons, and you go, okay, I've got these 2 guys on the field. Then you say, I want a 3rd. I'll tribute a monster, summon out Righteous Dragon, use its effect, and then tribute it to get out another dragon, right? That's it. That's all you do. It's just get out 3 high dragons. It's nothing super crazy. We already have these 2 cards. And then we're going to get down to kind of the dregs. We got Glaciosaurus. This is half of a cyborg fusion. When we were looking at it earlier. This thing. Metarion Landenstar. So used with Imaginary Actor and Graciosaurus. So one card from your hand to the graveyard. One face-up monster in your opponent's field loses 1500 attack and defense. That's not bad. 2800 attack, level 9. Weaken something by 15. Can't out, some stuff. Like, it won't be able to out like a Blue Eyes Ultimate, but it can still out most things. All face-up dinosaur monsters on your opponent's field lose 2000 attack. So it's an extra bonus effect against dinosaurs. That's kind of how the Metarions work and the cyborg monsters. But it's okay. It's okay. Then, Hero of the East. This is, again, going to be part of the fusion. I mean, I guess we'll go and have a look at it quick. So it's part of... Is it all 3 of these? Is that what... Yeah, Yeast is used in all 3 of these. So first off, there's Crescent Moon Swordmaster, made using Masaki and Hero of the Yeast. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. This turn, this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's trap card effects. So this is level 8, notably. So that means it doesn't get over a lot of the effects that work, don't work on level 9 and lowers, or 9 and highers. So Crescent Moon is a little bit awkward from that regard. And all of these level 8, so take that, know that going forward as well. This is 2 Hero of the Yeast. We'll make this guy, which lets you add a level 4 or lower warrior type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. So chances are you'll grab back a Hero of the Yeast because you know you have 2 in there because you've just fused this together. And then there is Hero of the Sweep, which is used 1 year Broom and Hero of the East. Send the top card of it to the graveyard. This card gains attack and defense equal to the number of face-up Earth attribute monsters on your field times 200. This is probably the worst one, but it can get up to an okay attack stat, I guess. That's kind of it. And then we've got, 1500 Defender. We've kind of spoken about that. We've got Type Change Beam, which is a meme card that never really did anything. It's kind of funny. I wouldn't expect this card to do anything unless we get a really good skill that does something with it. Crying Moon Rabbit is finally here. We finally have Crying Moon Rabbit. It's a 0 attack, 1400 defense, beast normal level 1. This is, I guess, support for the beast engine. If you want to play a more defensive variant, you could also use this in... What's it called? Diabolic King Beetle. You can also use it with that. So there's that. We've got a reprint. We have a 1400 0 defense Plantodon or Platnodon, which is okay. It's nothing particularly great. We get Celebrontosaurus. Again, he's okay. It's 1400 attack. It's a lot better if we had the Dinosaur Kingdom to give it the extra 300 attack defense. When you think of Beast, I think of Beast. When I think of Beast, I think of Beast gear. I mean, there is that. I'm updating my game, but I'm in game. Nice, Daisy. Nice. Tyhone 2. It exists. It's in the game. This is a card that soon you can own. Yep. Then we've got Triceratops. It's not very good. It's not got very good attack. It's not got very good defense. It doesn't even have a very good level. It's level 2. It's not even level 1. It's very restricted in what you can do with it. Typhone for Fire Dragon skill. In what world, Manicist, are you putting this in your Blaster Inferno deck? What reason could you have to include this in that deck? Is my question. Then we have Co-Evolutionary Miracle. I don't really like this card, but it is very similar to our Jamp Start or our Jamp Up in that we set it and then we can use it as tribute fodder, basically. So it's like having an extra body to be used, but it gives a little mini attack boost. It's okay. It's nothing crazy. I've never been a huge fan of this card. I could use it in a Magician deck as fuel for Road Magic Explosion. Just because you could do that, should you do it? I guess is the next question. Then we have and then we have Brutal Retribution. This card is funny. So this card is actually not bad, depending on if you're playing a very normal heavy deck and there is a lot of Wrath going about. So people were playing this when Mirror Force came out, because Mirror Force came out right before or right as Go Rush came out. And Go Rush introduced the Galaxy Monsters, and like Galaxy Monsters, especially at the start, was a very normal heavy deck. So you played a lot of normal summons, and then you could use Brutal Retribution to revive your board that just got destroyed by a Mirror Force. So this card has seen some play. There's no real reason to do so because we already have Magical Swordsman and that dog, so no real reason, but if I'm feeling stupid, I can. Well, they have 2k Fire Spellcaster for that. Oh, I'm starting to yawn. But yeah, that's kind of the box. I want Dynamics to be good. Maybe we can do something with the skill. I think Miklord Mire Innovator is going to be at least somewhat decent. I think people are at least going to experiment with this. Metagears, I don't know. I think for the most part, it's not really going to see much play. Right? I don't know. Retribution counters Royal Rebels. It counters Royal Rebels if you have lots of face-up normal monsters. That's kind of it, I think. Like, again, it's like a weird side deck card for very hyper-specific situations and matchups. It's a weird one. But now we'll talk about the juicy stuff. Selection Box Volume 1. This is awful. I hate it. I hate selection boxes. I don't want this in Rush. Retribution would have been cool when Hell Tuning Evasion was strong. Exactly. I think it's kind of missed its point. It will, again, fall back into relevancy as different decks show up, but right now it's not going to be doing much. I love these Overrush rares. I also like the alt arts. I think that's cool. I don't like unique cards being put in these at all. I am the kind of person that likes to have 3 times every single card. I'm also the kind of person that does not mind spending a little bit of money on a game that I play frequently. I do not mind buying the 2nd and 3rd copies of structure decks because they're not particularly frequent. What I don't really want is to spend a lot of money on something I shouldn't have to spend a lot of money on. That is in a whale product that is here for the people that don't mind spending a bit of extra money to get cosmetics. That is what I don't like. I think having all of this stuff in here is fine. Putting unique cards in here that we're going to have to now wait, they're now timed exclusive to this box, is awful. I think it is anti-consumer. I think it's anti-competition. I don't like it at all. That being said, if you're going to open this, I don't think Ultimate Flagmate Gold Rush is probably going to do very much. I do think Siesta Torero is probably going to be okay. I would like to get 2 copies of this card. I think 7 Shift will be okay in its very specific deck. I think overall, you could probably just skip this, to be honest. Siesta Torero might end up being really, really, really good. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be good, and I think it's going to be very playable. I don't think you're going to need more than 2 of it, and I don't think overall, I don't think it's going to be a mandatory get. That's kind of how I'm feeling. How comes every deck gets spell trap removal unlimited, but not psychic? What do you mean? Psychic have another spell trap removal. They've got their second spell trap removal now. Konami is beefing with Psychic for whatever reason. Is the new art cards just new art? Nothing special. So, some of them are new art, right? Currybot and Essel are just new art. These Overrush are cards that like break out of the frame. That's kind of it. There's nothing, like they don't do anything extra. They're just the same card, but they just have a way nicer art. Invest in Go Rush, so this box is pointless for me. To be honest, I thought Road Magic Tempest was the water type, not the wind. Well, Tempest does mean wind, so there is that. But yeah, Spark Hearts Girl, I think is too late. I think there's maybe something you could do with it. I don't think it's going to be particularly good. We're not... Sparks and Curtain of Sparks aren't seeing play right now. So Spark Hearts Girl is just not going to be good. That's kind of my feelings on it. That could change in the future. Right now, not really feeling this. Siesta Terrero still can be pretty good. Elisa's Box gives you the spell that outs maximum. Yeah, I mean, getting more copies of TSA is nice. It'd be nice if it had an alternate art. I don't think TSA has an alternate art, but just give it one. Like, fuck it, right? Siesta Holder is a bit mid as well. Don't really care about this. All in all, again, I think 2 copies of Tiero and 2 copies of Seven Shift is probably all you'd actually need from here. A playset of Spark Hearts would be nice for potentially the future, but I don't even think you need that. I would like Ultimate Flag Mech Gold Rush just because it'd be fun to play, but I don't think this is going to be good either. That's kind of where I'm sitting right now. Well, if they're going to have selection boxes and Rush, they best be garbage. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, right? But what if they don't end up being garbage? Like, it's all well and good to say this now, but in 2 weeks' time, when we look at a tournament deck list and it's running 3 copies of Siesta Terrero, 3 copies of Seven Shift in some really gross aggro pile, then that's going to feel awful. So, it's awkward. It's very awkward. The reprints are nice if you never went in the maximum box, but I already do 2 runs of it. Yeah, exactly. It's a weird one. And then the last little thing to talk about... Well, first off, I guess we'll talk about these. We have the original Art of Hammer Crush. This is what Hammer Crush should have looked like from the get-go, but for some reason we didn't get this one. Question, if we get pop out Art of a Maximum, well, what would it look like if you don't have all 3 but have small pieces? I have no idea, but it could look really funny. So we'll have to wait and see. Summoning Sorcerer Dorotheo. We don't know when we're getting this, but it's a bit mid. It's a 2500 spellcaster is about the only thing it's going to be good for. Has a little bit of burn attached to it. And then Ultimate Flag Beast Bolt Tricorn. This is actually a good card. If we have no other monsters in our graveyard, we can send Token back to the graveyard. One face-down spell trap on your opponent's field cannot be activated until the end of your opponent's next turn. That's so good. I don't know when we're going to get this card. It's going to apparently be a super rare, which means it'll probably be attached to some sort of event in the future. I want this card. It's really good. Konami, gimme. We already know where all the rest of this is from. And then finally we have the Blue Eyes stuff. We have Blue Eyes Bright Dragon. Blue Eyes Bright Dragon is fine. 3000 attack. Can sometimes blow up a monster. Only destroys face-up monsters. So there's that. We have Kyberman, who can be used with the skill. Kyberman's pretty cool because it can summon out Blue Eyes Bright Dragon, or it can summon out the original Blue Eyes that we know we're getting. And then Soul Drake is also pretty good. It's a way to basically... Economy-wise, this card is good because you give out 1 monster and itself, usually. And then you get back your boss monster. But you're getting the boss monster from the graveyard, so that's effectively getting it for 2 cards instead of the usual 3-card investment. So that's pretty good. Yeah, for me, I've already got the Magnum Overlord, and I don't need another for it. Maximums take on the trait of the middle piece when maximum summoned, e.g. Prismatic. Oh, okay, I never knew that. That's good to know. Bolt Tricorn is an event card, would be amazing, but when has Konami ever given us something good from events? I mean, it's been data mined, so it's got to be somewhere, right? And it's not in the NPC only section, so you know. I think Blue Eyes is going to be a weird one. I think Griffin has the right idea, where I think you're going to have to play Torna with it. I think that's the only way you're going to be able to beat Set 3 Pass, and you're going to need high levels anyway. So why not just use Torna, right? It's probably the best one you're going to get. I think it's going to be better than just sticking in a load of Righteous Dragons. Actually, never mind, we've got Aqua Engine. The Blue Eyes structure is apparently free. First one, so basically you're able to get a playable Blue Eyes deck. The issue with the Blue Eyes, right? So this is their skill. So this skill can only be used if all of the monsters with 1700 or more attack and or defense in your deck are level 8 light attribute monsters with 1600 or more defense. So that is very restrictive. That is basically telling us that we have to play either our Blue Eyes itself, our Blue Eyes Bright. The only other card that we can play that has more than 1700 attack in the game is Royal Rebels Doom Metal. That is the only other card in the game we can play that we can have that has a high attack value. So either we just admit that we'll just accept that we're going to be playing 2 of this, 1 of this, like 1 Righteous Dragon, and then 3 copies of Torna. Or if we want to get another big boss in, we have to basically include the Doom Metal, which is very awkward for free to play. Did you win Rush JP? We got 9th place in the point battle. So we didn't do too bad. All in all, that point battle was a really good indicator of how the Japanese meta is progressing, and they have a really, really cool, interesting build for Royal Rebels that makes it so that matchup isn't just a 100% win rate for me. And I really like that they have adapted to that, and that's really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to actually trying out that build myself at some point for the old Royal Rebels. Because Royal Rebels were in a situation where they just could not beat set 3 pass. So those boys over in Japan have just started... Well, we're just going to put all of the cards in to help us beat set 3 pass. And we're just going to see how it goes, and it's working quite well. You can't just play skillless. Is it mandatory to play the skill? But can't you just play it skillless? I mean, if you're not using the skill, then you're not getting the ability to add Blue Eyes Bright Dragon from your deck to your hand. So, like, the consistency goes down. You can just play without the skill. That's fine. Japanese deck building skills are really great to see. Yeah, I've been watching what Japanese players do to the deck specifically is really, really exciting. I think they just have, like, very thorough testing, I think is what they do. But yeah, you don't have to use the skill. But, like, people are going to want to, right? We effectively use this to just swap any card in our hand for a Blue Eyes Bright. We already have the Kaiba Man in hand, so it gets the combo going. It works quite nicely. The only thing I don't like about the selection box is it just promotes more Maximum Overlord. It's okay, don't worry, we have... Wait, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Negate Attack. There it is. We got Negate Attack. Don't worry about it. Everyone now has an out to Magnum Overlord. It's fine. Just don't think about it. Just hope that they don't also Negate Attack. Negate Attack is going to be such a weird card because it's going to create a case of chicken, right? You are not going to want to use your Negate Attack first, because whoever uses their Negate Attack first is kind of going to lose, right? Because you'll go, I summon Magnum Overlord attack. You go, Negate Attack. Joke's on you, you can't kill me, Magnum Overlord. He goes, oh no, your turn. I'll Talismanic Seal Array your Overlord. Summon, attack over your Magnum Overlord. Oh, I've got my Negate Attack. Get fucked. Stop your attack. Next turn, crack back again. Your Negate Attack is gone. So like, it's going to create really weird game states. Japanese will fix Psychics. Maybe. If there is one thing they could have gave us, is the animal version of Magnum. They can't give us that. Nightjohn, they're not going to give us the best Magnum Overlord. They're not going to do that. I wouldn't play Overlord anymore. Too many risks. Your whole game plan just goes out the window to 3 cards that can all be in the same deck now. They can, but most of the time they won't. And I think that is the big takeaway. Most decks in the format will not have room for those cards. So there is that. It's just better Buffered Slime. I mean, yeah, but you can run it with Buffered Slime. It's finally better than Widespread. Yes, right now, Negate Attack is better than Widespread. Now, there are going to be some situations where that's not going to be the case. I think if we just got Negate Attack right now, in our current meta with no other new cards, I would say Negate Attack is just better than Widespread. We'll have to wait and see how the meta develops over time, but right now, I would say Negate Attack just replaces it. I'll fix Psychics. Yeah, okay, we'll just wait for Pro Manicus to do it. Our favourite English boy. Send me list. I want to play it Friday. Ooh, that'd be exciting. That would be exciting. But with that, I think we've kind of gone through everything, right? We've done all of the things. We talked about the upcoming bundles. We talked about some of the skills that we're getting. We'll just put them on the screen. We talked about the new box and what we think is going to be good, what we think is going to be bad, how we think we can play some of this, some of the new skills and how they're going to interact with them. We talked about the new Blue Eye structure and the... Yeah, up here. There it is. The selection box, which... Just why Konami just stop. We talked a little bit about deck building, about the skill, and we even talked a little about Pokerogue. Who doesn't love that Pokerogue? So, with that, I think it is time to end the stream. We do have to cook, and we do also have some other bits of work to get on with. But today has been a really cool stream. We got to play in the JP point battle, which was actually a really good experience. I think there's two ways to come out of a point battle. One is to feel like you got some really good testing in. And the other is that was a waste of time. And today we had the former. That was some really good testing. I learned quite a lot. And I've got some stuff I now want to test from that, which I think is a really, really good thing to actually happen. The deck, like, discussion and, like, talking about all the other boxes and stuff, I think was pretty cool. All in all, I'm quite happy with the way things are looking. I think some of the new decks are going to be really, really fun. And we will probably be back again on Sunday. We will probably be doing a Sunday stream because I think the box comes out on Friday. So we're not going to be streaming on Friday because we'll be busy on Friday. And Saturday we'll probably be busy as well. But we will be probably streaming on Sunday. So maybe look forward to that. Maybe we'll try out some of the new stuff. So I'm just going to say thank you all for watching. And I'll see you next time.